My pregnant sister demands compromise for the family vacation. It's driving us apart.
We're all pregnant now.
What? My family also consists of me, 39 female, my brother, 41 male, and my parents, 64 male and female, along with our significant others. We have been having this annual family vacation for almost 13 years. We are a very athletic, fitness-oriented family and usually spend our annual family vacations doing sporty things like trekking, rock climbing, kayaking, biking, and some other fun stuff like abseiling?
Abseiling.
What's abseiling?
You sail with your abs.
What?
You just stand up on a board and you flex, you flex your core into the wind.
And bungee jumping. Can someone actually tell me what abseiling is?
I think abseiling is when you actually, it's like a small sail. It's like it almost looks like a pontoon where there's like two little floats and there's like a net in the middle and like one sail. I think that's what abseiling is.
This year we found out that my sister was pregnant, currently around 4 months. By the way, this comes from Deleted. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we were surprised at first because we thought none of us were going to have kids. That said, we are very happy for her. This will be the first baby in our family. My brother and I are child-free with our respective SOs. We were planning on our usual vacation, and this time we're planning on going mountain climbing and biking, plus one night of drinking and talking at the local pub. We always do the one night of drinking. That was our plan initially. However, sister has said she doesn't want to go for this and wants to go for a beach resort kind of vacation. None of us are keen to do that. Sister complained that the current itinerary would exclude her as she cannot do rigorous activity while pregnant. My mother decided to sit out the fun activities, and we came up with a different set of activities she will do with my sister. Our plan is that me, dad, brother, and our SOs will go and do all the activities we planned, while mother, sister, and brother-in-law will do other stuff like the spa, massages, and shopping. Then we'll meet up in the evening to have dinner together. To me, it sounded like a fair compromise. Everyone gets to have fun without excluding anyone, and we still get to spend time as a family. Sister doesn't want this compromise. She says it won't be fun for her, and it's not fair to her. I asked her to do some research and choose other activities she can do with mother. She refused and said if we don't care about her, then we can go for the current planned vacation.
Okay. That's when I'd start saying, okay, yeah, sure, if that's what you want.
But if we really cared about her and the baby, we would go for the beach resort vacation that she wants.
Ooh, and that also sounds pretty nice, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit conflicted because I do think that she's being unreasonable and not compromising, but I also would understand that she would feel left out.
It sounds like an extreme sport family.
Yeah.
Which is why I think my mind immediately went to like a team manning a sailboat when they said abseiling. Because it's like 5 or 6 people on that little thing, like all managing stuff. It was like, that's like our team family unit bonding activity while we're all, I don't know. You know what? Well, you know what? Learn to relax on the beach with your pregnant family member. That's why I'm saying it.
I do think that I would, I don't know, like it seems like a fair compromise, but I would want to at least include my sister in like a couple of the days, you know? Because it's only this year. I mean, she might have more children, but like currently it's this year.
She better not. We have a tight schedule.
We've got things to do. We've got abseiling,
biking, abseiling.
At this point, my brother is pissed because her refusal to compromise is delaying our booking. We need to book our accommodation, flights, and other things. She is causing trouble and delaying the whole thing. Brother says if she continues to be a baby about this, then he's going to go ahead without her and book the vacation anyway. She can grow up and come or be left behind. His words, not mine. I would really like her to be included as I hate confrontation and drama. We have been a pretty peaceful and happy family usually. Does anyone have any idea why she's acting like this? Well, yeah. I mean, okay, I'm going to finish this. My brother says she's just being witchy and entitled. My husband sides with my brother. My sister-in-law thinks this will blow over and that this behavior is just due to pregnancy and hormones. I tried to ask brother-in-law, but he just said he supports sister's decision for a beach resort vacation. Our current plan is to go ahead and book the vacation and include tickets and accommodation for her and brother-in-law so that if she decides to come at the last minute, we don't have to scramble for tickets and flights. If she decides not to come, close aunt and uncle will come with us instead. And there are some comments, but really quick, I feel like everyone's being kind of a little bit sucky here because I think, obviously the pregnant sister is not compromising at all, but also I feel like you and your family are not being super empathetic. Like this is the first time she's being pregnant and all of her friends and all of her family are going to be doing all this fun stuff without her.
I'm seeing a lot of comments that are saying like she's pregnant, not broken.
She's pregnant.
Like she can do a lot of that stuff.
Oh well, also that, but I think
which is
she can't go drinking.
Not what I expected. I didn't expect people to be like, yeah, rock climbing, you can do that when you're pregnant. Like
you can, but it has to be like you can do a lot of exercise and physical exertion stuff when you're pregnant, but you have to have been doing it. Like they always say, if you have been consistently exercising before you got pregnant and keep going, that's okay. You can't just like do a bunch of crazy stuff that you haven't been doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really all just comes down into the like. I think someone said it at the very beginning. You can't demand compromise.
No,
defeats
absolutely.
the very purpose and nature of compromise. So someone just needs to be ready to meet in the middle here, and it feels like neither of them want to.
I agree. That's what I think. Like I think everyone's a little bit sucky here because no one's willing to compromise.
And I also saw a comment that said, "You think this is bad? Wait until the baby's born."
That's true.
And every vacation is going to be about the baby. The baby can't do that. We can't do that.
In which case, that like maybe this is a conversation that needs to happen now, and say like, hey, it seems like there's got to be vacations down the line that once you have this baby, we're gonna still want to do all of this, and you might not be able to go, and have that conversation right now.
You say, hey, this extreme family demands an extreme baby. If your baby's not extreme enough to keep up, we're leaving you behind.
Yeah, but also she can't ask you guys to completely stop everything that you were doing.
We're gonna.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna deliver that baby while abseiling.
I think everyone's being a little bit empathetic. Like your brothers are like, who cares? She's just being witchy. It's like she's pregnant.
How pregnant is she?
She's 4 months. So she's
that
like
is
almost...
not pregnant enough to not do all that stuff.
Well,
for a lot of people.
Well,
I'm not a pregnant lady.
Again.
If she's been, like you said, if she's been doing all this stuff,
but we don't know if she
is active,
then
she
don't know
can still do this stuff. She's not about to give birth in a week.
Well, she can't go to the bar. Well, she can't go to the bar, but she can drink.
Boo-hoo.
So there are some things
then
that
just don't go on
can't.
vacation. You're gonna get upset about that. Stay home.
That's what she's saying.
Okay, then do that. But she's gonna do that and then be like upset about it instead of like, this is what I want. She'll be like, this is what I have to do to win. Just, ugh.
I think everyone's being a little bit unempathetic in the story, including her. Comment 1, I feel like everyone in this situation is acting kind of babyish. Yes, it's selfish for her to expect you all to completely change the holiday plans for her, but it's also going to be hard to include her in your current plans. And I think her issue is that she wants to spend the holiday all together as a family. Yeah, not separately doing stuff. Is there no way to have a holiday that includes both a beach holiday and an active holiday? That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, why don't we compromise and do both those things?
Maybe go swim in the ocean.
A seaside resort that has hiking trails and water sports, that kind of thing. You could spend the morning on the beach chilling together, the afternoons off doing whatever, and the evenings together for dinner, and everyone should be happy. And there is an update. I agree. That is the comment I most agree with, I think, because I think she is pregnant, and there are things that you cannot do when you're pregnant, but also she's, not compromising at all and trying to change everyone's plans. I think there is a middle ground that could be reached here for both sides.
I'm saying get over it. That's my take.
I disagree with that, but
that's fine.
That's okay.
But it's like apply this to not pregnancy. It's like imagine and I'm not equating pregnancy to a broken ankle, but imagine someone's got a broken ankle. They're like, oh, I can't do all this stuff, so we can't do it. No one would be jumping to accommodate that. People would be like, well, you can't totally do that.
Yeah, but
you can maybe do this.
I don't think you can equate.
And again, it's a similar situation of just someone being like, oh, I have this thing, so we can't do that. Well, it's like, no. You have that thing, so you can't do that, but we can still do other stuff. You can still enjoy. I don't know. It just sounds like
I just think
one side needs to go, I don't care so much, actually. That's all that needs to happen.
But
I don't care what side it is.
I think at the end of the day, the point of it is to be a family vacation. And I think she's saying, I want to do stuff with my family. And obviously, the sister is kind of making a big deal about a bunch of things. But I feel like it's like, for example, if you have the person who has the broken ankle or whatever, you have to make a choice. Do I want to hang out with them more than I want to do all of this cool stuff?
Bro, if I had to be clear, if I'm broken ankle boy, I'm just going anyway. Say, all right, I'll hang out. I'll meet a friend. I'll make a friend while y'all are out there parasailing.
But you were a different person.
What do you mean?
You were a different person.
You met strangers and made friends in Colombia.
I'm a different person, but there's an update. After looking through the original post and replies, I'm not really sure why I posted on Reddit. I know my sister, and while she can be selfish sometimes, she's also usually quick to compromise. I had a really strong hunch that there was another underlying reason for this issue, and I was right, which is why we should be curious.
Hey.
I think I posted here hoping that some Redditor could come up with the correct explanation for this, but I was hoping for too much, as no one is a mind reader. Honestly, most of the comments were not helpful, as everyone was suggesting changing the location, which was out of the question. The rest was a bunch of judgment from strangers who don't know a thing about my family. Thank you to the people who provided constructive feedback, though.
I hope they consider get over it as constructive.
That's get over it is not an effective solution.
It's good. Yeah.
Conversation is
just
an
needs to
effective
go.
solution.
All right, I'm over it. You can come.
Wrong.
We can change things. We can do this.
You
we
have
can
to have
do
a
that.
conversation.
I don't care.
I realized that I just had to talk to my sister. Yeah. That's not
Right.
get over it. That's have a conversation.
Have a conversation and tell her I don't care anymore.
Wrong. I called her to talk about this for what felt like the 100th time. I explained that this vacation was something all of us treasured and was very important to us. We would love it if she could come with us and we could find other things to do together there. I strongly emphasized that we would love to have her with us. She started crying after that. She said she and brother-in-law couldn't afford to go on the vacation. Honestly, financial difficulty never even crossed my mind.
So she was just lying. Great. So, folks, what have we learned? Don't lie.
I think I took financial stability for granted. In the interest of privacy, I left out many details about the vacation. The vacation isn't a short 5-day one. We are spending 18 days over there. Wow. The cost of lodging, flights, food, and all the gear we will be renting for our activities would amount to very high costs. Apparently, brother-in-law lost his job earlier this year, but has since found another one that pays much less. Sister is quitting her job soon to be a stay-at-home mom. As such, they will need to save as much money as possible. She was pushing for the beach vacation as it would be much, much cheaper and much shorter as well.
So,
In which she should have been honest.
even
told
she knows. Never mind.
Everything started falling into place after that. At first, I thought she was just being unreasonable, harping on the beach vacation, but now I can see her reasoning. I felt so much relief after learning the actual problem, as now I know how to go about solving it. My dad, brother, and I offered to chip in and pay 50% of the total cost to have the costs. Sister says while that would be great, brother-in-law doesn't want her to take money from us, and brother-in-law feels embarrassed accepting money from us. Sister also said brother-in-law did not want us to learn about their financial difficulties, and that was why she didn't talk about it initially.
You know what I have to say about that? Get over it, dude. You have these people that love you and care about you, want to help you out so that you can participate in this vacation, and you're like, oh no, it makes me feel not manly. Shut up. Get over it. We've learned today. Sunglasses me is just, I'm over it. It's
this episode is just Dakota being aggressive.
It's not even aggressive.
Yes,
it's like, these people are trying to help you out.
Yeah.
And we even found out, look,
I agree.
even the pregnant woman is like, look, it's not really because I'm pregnant. I could do all that stuff pregnant. It's because we're broke.
I agree with the underlying sentiment.
Good.
But I agree in a nicer way.
All right.
No wonder talking to her before about the reason was really like talking to a brick wall. I wish sister could have been forthcoming about the financial aspect earlier on so we could have solved this earlier. I also wish brother-in-law would be more willing to accept financial help from us. Oh well, I mean, people are very prideful. Sister said she will.
That's a sin, folks. One of the big ones.
You're crazy. You're on one. Sister said she will sit out the vacation as she can't afford it. Brother said we could extend the vacation and have a 2-day beach vacation after, where she could join us. 18 days extended to 20. Do y'all not have jobs?
Yeah, like what tax bracket is this family
This
in?
crazy. They're like, yeah, we can pay for you guys.
Literally forgetting money exists. They're like, oh, I didn't even think
about
someone could not be financially stable. That's crazy.
We just thought she was a witch.
Yeah.
We didn't even ask about her finances.
Which, by the way,
and that goes back to my point about empathy. Be curious, folks.
If I'm 5 months away from newborn child, I'm doing everything I can to have an 18-day vacation.
Oh,
you serious?
See, I thought you were going the route if I'm about to have a kid, I'm doing everything I can to save money.
Well, yeah, sure. And that would be a great way to save money by accepting that 50% off price tag.
It's true.
On the 18-day trip.
Well, you're still paying 50% and also not working.
Well, okay.
However, sister says after thinking about it, she would rather save the money as she wasn't keen on the beach vacation at all in the first place and only suggested it as an alternative. By the way, there is no alternative to listening to full episodes with stories just like this.
Us only.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Do it.
There is a little bit left to this, but Caitlin Von Kampen has a very good point. They definitely live in Europe. I think they mentioned something European before, and if they are, they get so much more vacation time than we do.
Well, yeah, we get none. Where it's like a legal amount of like paid vacation in America is 0 days. It's like every other country basically has like at least like a week.
Yeah, and
but you
also
get paid for a week to do nothing.
Some jobs have very different like maternity leaves thing, you know? Like I think in other countries you get a lot longer maternity leave.
Yes, that's
but
also
here
true.
It's like 2 weeks. Is that true?
Yeah, here in
weeks or
America
3?
we're so cool. We have everything figured out and everything's perfect. So we don't let moms have a vacation just because they gave
somewhere
birth.
between 2 to 6 weeks. I don't remember.
Well, you want a vacation just because you have a child to raise? Get back to work.
Any closing thoughts? Because I got some.
Yeah, my closing thought is, first of all, I don't support the American position on maternity leave. I honestly think mothers should raise their kids for like 4 years.
And my thought on this story is that everyone sucked a little bit in the story because there was very little communication on both ends, and you guys just kind of jumped on your sister and were like, she's a witch, she's not compromising, even though she's always been known to compromise, and this was very out of unlike her. So just, when you have a sibling who is not behaving like themselves and is also about to have a baby, maybe get a little curious. Get a little curious before we jump down their throat.
Of course. However, she was lying.
Exactly. That's why everyone sucks a little bit here.
Which is,
Also be honest to your family about the situations that you're in.
That's true. Honesty is key. Honesty is everything.
Anyway, so everything has been resolved. This is the first time the family has to deal with such trauma, and I feel like I've just completed a 12-mile run. I think I'm going to take a long nap now. Thanks for reading. P.S. I would like to thank the person who said I have to face the reality that the family is changing now, and family vacations don't mean everyone's able to go. I guess I was hanging on too tightly to the tradition of everyone coming. This trip will be a good time to come to terms with that. Thank you, everyone. Hope you all have a great day. Comment 1 says, this is honestly a pretty sad update. OP says, I actually agree. I wish sister could come, but she would rather save the money, and brother-in-law isn't budging on the money issues, so there is not much we can do. And Reply says, I disagree. This is a real update. The fact is that reality happens, people lose their jobs, money is a reality, and so is pride. Perhaps from this further understanding and compromise can be reached to encourage future trips. This doesn't have to be negative. Enjoy your trip anyway. Sister Shirley wouldn't want you to be mopey on her account. Reply says, obviously she isn't owed a free ride, but isn't the whole point of this that it is a family vacation? Why don't you go somewhere closer to home and all pitch in to cover her and brother-in-law? You know she can't come any future year, right? This is just really tugging at my heartstrings.
Why can't she come any future year?
Well, I mean, if she's dealing with monetary problems, it's only going to get worse when you have a kid.
No. That's not the right mind. We
Unless,
need an abundance mindset. She's on the upswing now, and her baby's gonna be the youngest ever extreme sports superstar.
Yes.
We're on the
Then
up.
you're going to win the Olympics. I can't imagine going on a big vacation with my family and leaving just one member behind because they can't afford it. OP says we offered to, but brother-in-law strongly objected to that. I think sister telling us about the financial issues they were facing really made brother-in-law very angry. There was shouting and screaming apparently, which is frustrating. And we don't want to cause more problems between them. Our offer of paying 50% or adding a cheaper vacation at the end still stands if she and brother-in-law change their mind. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah, we'll call that the end.
But honesty and communication.
Yeah, dude.
Do them.
And I might be being a little flippant, but I do believe on a real level there are moments when you can just go, you know what? Actually, I just don't care anymore. I've realized now that I had planted my flag in the ground, but the ground is made of sand. I just don't care. We'll do whatever you want. Yeah, okay. Family, Vin Diesel.
But that's the end of that story.
I'm skipping my daughter's birthday trip because my girlfriend invited extra people.
Yeah, just get out of there. You don't need to be around all them.
As the title says, I need some outside input because my 27 male girlfriend, 28 female, pretty much blew me off when I brought this up last night. First, my girlfriend and I are set to get some money back from filing our taxes. When asked what I was planning to do with said money, I mentioned wanting to pay off some debt. Girlfriend mentioned our daughter's 10 birthday, which reminded me that she had said she wanted to go to Disneyland. By the way, this comes from user Sparks772, and if you want to submit your own stories, go submit them on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I asked my daughter who she wanted to bring because this isn't just a trip to the park. I couldn't pay for her friends to go, but I was thinking 1, maybe 2. So my girlfriend came in just with family. This would be girlfriend's cousin and her niece, the same age as my daughter. I asked my daughter again if she didn't want to invite one of her friends from school. Some background on this, my daughter and cousin's daughter go to school together, but they clash a lot. They do not hang out at school, and they don't ask to hang out outside of school, despite only living 2 blocks away from each other. Cousin's daughter is loud and a bit of a pick-me, in my opinion, which is an honestly insane thing to say about a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
a pick-me.
She likes to be the center of attention. She's 10. During my daughter's last birthday, my cousin's daughter kind of took over and got lots of attention. My daughter was understandably upset, but she's sweet and she would like her family to be there. I just wanted to make sure if she invited a friend, it was her friend and not someone who would ditch her for her cousin. So she decided who would fit that bill best. Girlfriend called the friend's mom to clear it with her. So I'm all good with this. Tickets for 4 people, 2-day park hopper, hotel for 3 nights, meals, miscellaneous spending in the parks. Between girlfriend and I'm thinking I'm going to be out $2,000, maybe a little more. It do be expensive.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
The girlfriend then gets on the phone and starts talking to her older daughter, my stepdaughter, 23. She asked her if she wants to go for her birthday, which is in the same month, and said we'll pay for her tickets, but she needs to cover her hotel. I'm still good with this. Then I hear girlfriend on the phone saying, Chris? Okay, sure, that's fine, but he has to pay for himself. WTF. This is my stepdaughter's ex-boyfriend. They broke up like a year ago because he was a piece of crap. He cheated and blah, blah, blah. I just did put him out of my mind. The thing is, I never really connected with this kid, Chris, the ex-boyfriend. They were together for 3 years. They'd come to the house for holidays. I'd see him at other family members' houses for get-togethers. And then after they broke up, I was like, good. I didn't like him anyway. Good. But now they're hanging out again. Stepdaughter says they're just friends. Definitely not friends with benefits, according to her. They spend the night together, whatever. She can do whatever she likes, but I still don't like him. When girlfriend got off the phone, I looked at girlfriend and said, haven't you noticed how I don't really talk to Chris whenever he's around for these 3 years? I was hoping she'd get the point, but she brushed it off, saying, oh, you're both quiet. Okay, but what about when he shows up at my house with stepdaughter with no warning? Why do you think I asked, why was he here? That's not a friendly response to someone showing up unannounced. So now I'm thinking of not going. Brother, you said all that in your head. If you need to say that out loud. So now I'm thinking of not going. I'll split the cost of the 5 tickets, the meals, and hotel. However, I will just remove myself, save some of the money I would have spent, and plus, I don't have to be around my stepdaughter's ex. Would I be the a-hole? I mean, not really, but I think he'd be being a huge baby.
Yeah.
There's an edit here. I saw a lot of replies regarding this, so I figured I would just edit and say this. Apparently, I was not transparent enough. Girlfriend and I are technically domestic partners. I never wanted or want to get married. I was a witness to my mom's infidelity as a teenager. It's a long story, but my first serious girlfriend cheated on me multiple times as well. Here's a little bullet point on commitment. Well, when our daughter was born, I started getting my ducks in a row. Then we bought a house when our daughter was 1. Yay. After a year of living with girlfriend at her dad's house, I had a roommate situation before that. I moved my girlfriend, her older daughter, and her mother in with me. This April, we'll have all been living in the same house for 10 years, minus stepdaughter, who moved out after high school. Sorry, I was not trying to be misleading, but there are not 2 birthdays. We are very much a family unit. But if you have any suggestions on how to politely disinvite your cousin and daughter without blowing up girlfriend's relationship with her family, I'm open to suggestions. Update. First, I want to thank everyone for their replies. I read the majority of them. There seem to be a few themes throughout the comments. First, I'm the a-hole. Second, it appears a lot of people are upset with my girlfriend hijacking my daughter's birthday party. There were some other trains of thought, such as I was just another dude who couldn't commit and that she was someone who was using me for my money. Also, that we were living as co-parents or that I was paying for all the extra people, which I never planned to. I apologize for not being clear in my original post. I did provide an update shortly after posting to try and clear up some misconceptions. Now on to the update. I did speak with my girlfriend, domestic partner, wife. I don't know. The title's interchangeable to me. I'm committed to her. She's committed to me. We have a family unit and have had it for almost 11 years. After reading a lot of the replies, I texted her while I was at work. In a nutshell, I said she should not have invited daughter's ex-boyfriend. From there, I told her she didn't even consider my thoughts and that it would have been a pretty common courtesy to give me a heads up if I minded this person or that person coming along. She might have just assumed that you're like in your 40s and wouldn't be affected by a 23-year-old going to Disneyland and probably speaking to you for a grand total of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I asked if my 10-year-old even wanted her cousin to come with her after the birthday last year. Then I said she needed to fix it. She tried to deflect. She said she didn't think I minded the ex-boyfriend, and if it's a problem, we can split up. Then she said my daughter told her she would be fine with cousin going, but that she'd ask again. All she wanted to do was celebrate our kids. There was more to the text, just reiterating our points of view. Shrug. Brother, she's communicating. Why are you shrugging? Today, when my daughter got home, I pulled her aside and spoke with her about the trip. At first, she said she only wanted a sleepover for her birthday. I'm assuming it's like a slumber party? She followed up by saying that she was hoping to do Disneyland for her 12th birthday. It was suggested to her by girlfriend that Disney could be done this year, and daughter said she asked if cousins could go. I pressed her on it a little more, asking if she had a choice between her cousin and her friend, who she could choose. She chose the friend. Okay. I came out to talk with the girlfriend and told her what our daughter had said. It turns out that the whole idea of the Disney trip this year was while they were all together, so I imagine it went like this. Girlfriend asked what she wanted to do. Daughter replied about a slumber party or a sleepover and wanting to do Disney the next year. Then girlfriend said, we could probably do Disney this year if you want, right in front of the family, and then followed up with your cousin can come and her mom and maybe your big sister. So I imagine my daughter was still just super excited about a possible Disney trip. She was just saying, sure, whatever. When I brought this up to my girlfriend, she just kind of went on the defensive and talked about how I was making her feel bad and we can just cancel the whole thing. So that's where we're at. I'm not sure what I'm going to do still. I'd love to take her by myself, but again, we are a family unit. We do stuff together. If we cancel, then we go without the rest. There will be hurt feelings between girlfriend and her family. I'm not really that close to them. No, go figure. But I don't want to be known as the a-hole. I'm thinking maybe we cancel and change it to Six Flags. My daughter's cousin is not a fan of scary roller coasters. We could be doing her a favor, but I'm still not sure. Maybe we just change the plans altogether and do Disneyland next year with her and a friend or two. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories like this with a friend or two or 500 or 10,000. Tell everyone you know that they can listen to full episodes on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, literally wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime. The other thing I just remembered, not sure where I would insert this into that wall of text, but my daughter did say if I don't invite cousin to my B-Day, she won't invite me to her B-Day. I think she's trying to keep the peace and be a people pleaser. I don't necessarily want to alienate her from her cousin. Kids are mean and kids change. They can barely tolerate each other now, but a couple of years down the road, they may be best friends. I would rather her take a step back from the relationship with her cousin rather than just abandon it. And that's the end of the story?
Oh, wow.
My boyfriend ditched my family trip after promising to go for months.
Oh, but like the boys.
My family is kind of a lovably weird in that they plan family trips well ahead of time to ensure a good deal on a rental house. I am talking 7 to 8 months ahead. We've booked this year's vacation. I let Sam know the dates. I told him it would be last week of July. I didn't expect him to remember it forever then, but thought I would give him the idea so we both could keep it in mind. By the way, this comes from Molly Ringworm 00, and if you were to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. I mentioned it casually, maybe once a month as a reminder, like, hey, my dad wants to go on this hike. And several times he would say, oh yeah, what are those dates again? And I would tell him. He even told my parents that he would go for the weekend of the week-long trip. They love him, and they were so excited. He said that he would be able to come up for the first part of the trip, for a weekend. I was completely fine with that. While I love my family, I recognize a significant other may not want to spend a week with someone else's family. I should add, I didn't expect him to use any paid time off, was toying with using one day, which I was thrilled by. The trip would be paid for by my family. House, food, alcohol, etc. It's a 3-hour drive away and in a place that he loves. I should add that last year when my family was going to the beach for a week, I mentioned the trip a few times and he got annoyed. So I felt weird about it and stopped asking. I don't mean I was being obnoxious. I probably mentioned it once a month or so because he got annoyed. I stopped mentioning it a month or two before the trip. About 2 to 3 weeks before the beach trip, I asked him what his plans were. He said he had spaced and completely forgotten and that he would be on call. It's non-medical. It's people calling out of shifts, so he has to be in town even though it requires no action. That week, so he couldn't go. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to spend that time at the beach with him. I was only asking for a weekend. I talked to him about it a couple of times and I asked if he was nervous to spend time with my family or didn't like something about them. He assured me that that was not the case. We got into a fight and he said that he felt like he was a kid that missed an assignment and I was the teacher. It was really our first argument. This was almost 1 year into the relationship. He has hung out with my family maybe once a month or every 2 months for a couple of hours. We tend to do a meal, talk for a couple of hours. Then he goes sees his folks and does the same thing. His family doesn't take a yearly week-long trip, so I understand if it feels strange to him, but I don't see him as wanting to spend 2 nights as a big, huge ask. The punter is that earlier this year, he complained that I had too many trips. I occasionally do girls' trips with my friends and have tried to plan an occasional trip for him and me that I think he and I would like. He loves camping, so a camping trip with a reasonable amount of distance in a city we both want to see. For example, when he said this, I said, I will make an effort to cut back on trips, but I don't want you to feel like you have to come on all the trips. I want you to feel comfortable. The only trip I care about you coming this year is spending a weekend with me and my family in the mountains. Maybe he forgot I said this, but this really sticks out to me. Essentially, I gave him a ton of notice and said it was really important to me, and he told my parents and my sweet grandma that loves him that he would come for the weekend. Then last week, less than 3 weeks before the trip, I asked him what his schedule is like for July. He lets me know that unfortunately he's going to be on call that entire week and can't make it. He can, however, make it to other trips going on that month, go to a party at a friend's place, plans that were made several weeks ago. I was so disappointed. He told his work that the only week he couldn't be on call was the party house weekend. He didn't even attempt to ask me when my family trip was. I asked him why he didn't, and he said, well, we did schedule at 4 p.m. That's kind of a weird time to text you. It's not. He offered to come up Thursday night, which is the last night of the trip. So he would arrive Thursday night and we would leave Friday morning after cleaning the house that morning. That does not sound like fun to me. I said, no worries on coming up for the last night. Honestly, I don't even want him to come at this point. He didn't offer any other alternative. So I can absolutely tell he isn't interested in coming. We were supposed to move in together, but this plus a bunch of other stuff. I sat him down a couple of days ago and said, I can't move in. There's just too many concerns. He was upset, but he said he understood. The other concerns on my end include him not being super verbal. Him not wanting to talk on the phone or text much has gotten slowly, painfully better. This guy's cheating on you.
There's something afoot. He's
Yeah.
either cheating or like he just doesn't care.
He's got to be cheating.
You know?
Not really calling you. He probably wants you to move in so you can cover half his freaking rent.
Right. That's I'm feeling very hobosexual with this guy.
Him not being incredibly motivated to switch jobs. He's been miserable for years, and I have helped him edit his resume, sent links, tried not to say anything, tried being super supportive. I've tried everything. I know it's up to him. Different drives, his being much lower. Different I have ideas of how to go out. I like an occasional brewery, and he would prefer to stay at home and watch Netflix. Different ideas of diet. He doesn't really like fruits or veggies and eats out a ton. Getting a little better, but I eat fairly healthy and I exercise 3 to 4 times a week. Honestly, I wonder, is he even that into me? Then he will come over and be all cuddly and sweet and excite me and be excited to see me. I have never experienced something this confusing before. The verbal stuff and texting and eating were getting better, so I naively thought he would come on this trip this time. He is sweet, kind, and funny, and very affectionate and loving and caring. But I think I have hit my limit. Am I being unreasonable here about the vacation? Is it ridiculous to expect a significant other to come on a part of a family trip 2 years in? Update. It's been 3 weeks and a lot has happened.
Yes.
First of all, thank you to everyone that Brendan responded. I sat him down day after making that post, and I broke up with him. He was devastated. Didn't see it coming at all, even though I had said we should wait to live together, and we had a discussion about me being unhappy. I didn't cry. I wasn't even that upset. I think that tells me that I was getting over the relationship slowly and had known for a while that it wasn't meant to be. I mentioned the trip situation as the other different spicy sleep drives and some other reasons. He asked if there was anything he could do or say, and I said no. I was very nice to him, but very firm that it was over between us. I left that evening, and we met up a week later to talk at his request. He had some friend overlap, so I thought it might be best. He told me he never thought I would leave. It never even crossed his mind that I would ever be frustrated enough to go. He said that several times, that he always thought there was always tomorrow to make things better. It was odd to me. I mean, we had like 5 to 6 conversations over the 2 years with me saying, hey, I'm not feeling loved and I'm not feeling fulfilled here. Here is where it gets bizarre. He told me that the reason he hadn't wanted to hang out 2 nights in a row ever and just did his own thing and never wanted to go grocery shopping together or do things was that he was preparing for moving in for a full year by getting in as much bachelor time as he could. I asked if this was a conscious decision, and he said yes. That just blows my mind. I asked him if he thought making the relationship weaker made sense for me to move in with him. He said, well, when you put it like that, no. R/relationships. I'm baffled. I don't know whether to believe that explanation or not, but it really doesn't matter. It just affirmed that I made the right decision. Something I have not doubted for a second. Of course, now he's all chatty Cathy and trying to show me he cares. But I told him we need to not talk anymore. There is literally nothing he can do that could change my mind. I told him that an effort after a breakup feels hollow to me, that I don't want a foundation like that for my relationship. That actions taken after a breakup are typically just to reduce pain. They aren't real change. That if he wanted to hang more with me or initiate spicy sleep with me, etc., he would have, especially after many conversations. Oh, and the low spicy sleep drive thing? Turns out he's a regular user to the pornography. He was lying about that the entire time. I never knew because we didn't spend enough time together for me to understand.
That's why he's not initiating.
And I, of course, never checked his stuff, so I had no clue. Usually I'm intuitive, but I trusted him that he would turn me down after I was gone on a 7-day trip, that it wasn't because he had done things a bunch. The fact that he was lying about it and chose to do it oversee me. That is so disappointing. I know I can do a lot better. He told me he would think about me and want me, but it was just easier to do things himself rather than to call me up. I told him numerous times I would love spontaneously come over. It's a 15-minute drive, and he never once took me up on that. Dude, that is just a bigger conversation than just this guy. I feel like that's a whole nother conversation with men in this kind of thing.
Well, it's he hit the nail on the head where it's like it's easier to do this than to maintain a channel of communication with another human being and then have to, it is easier to just have a one-way interaction through a screen, but that's bad for you. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for your relationships.
I'm not going to let it make me feel badly about myself, though. I know there have been people in the past that really enjoy spicy sleep with me, and there will be someone in the future. I am over it. And guys, please don't be over us, because we can have spicy stories to read, just like this one. All you gotta do is go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, search up OK Story Time for spicy stories just like these. He told me that it wouldn't be an issue if we got back together. That is insulting, because either he just wasn't interested in spicy sleep with me, but suddenly, if it means we can get back together, or he was just lazy about it or something. I don't know which is worse. He said he feels like he has made the biggest mistake of his life. Probably has. I knew he didn't have a lot of relationship experience, but dang, 29 seems like a tough age to learn this particular life lesson. To value what you have and not take it for granted. P.S. I'm on the family trip now with my family and having an absolute blast. Not 1 ounce of me has missed him or wished he was here. Yeah, of course, after learning that, I would not miss this person either. Dang, that OP. Dude, I'm gonna have to give it to you. You gave yourself a medal of valuing yourself, and everyone deserves that.
Yeah, you did it the right way.
My husband excluded me from a trip that includes his entire family?
I guess you're not family.
My husband and I live in our city, and his parents are local. We see them usually every Sunday for dinner. They are retired and love road trips, so sometimes they're on the road. By the way, this comes from user Lady Latitude, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Generally, I like his parents, and I think they like me. They are pretty conservative socially and politically, and I'm, well, not. But we all get along and care about each other. More on this dynamic later. My husband has 2 siblings, a brother, brother-in-law, and a sister, sister-in-law, who live a few states away from us and from each other. Brother-in-law is going through a long-anticipated divorce. Unfortunately, because of the distance, my husband and brother-in-law have demanding jobs, and how brother-in-law is now having to figure out childcare with shared custody of his kids. They haven't really gotten the chance to talk about it, or for my husband to offer brother-in-law support. So, since husband has the entire week off Thanksgiving, he decided he would go see his brother Saturday the 17th, and then through Tuesday the 19th. Then he'd come home, and we'd travel a few hundred miles to spend Thanksgiving with my family. Okay, great. They're going to have quality brother time. Husband and brother-in-law can tour breweries and talk about how it hurts to go through divorce. My husband and I are both divorced, and this is our second marriage. So, we get it. I never thought to go because this was laid out as a time for brothers to hang out. Brother-in-law's new condo isn't furnished, and I didn't want to stress him out about playing host. I'm saving vacation days for a possible Christmas trip with my husband that both my husband and I are planning, and we're saving money to buy a place of our own. But once mother-in-law found out, she invited herself. This irritated me because it was supposed to be a brother hangout. Neither husband nor brother-in-law are irritated though, so I let it go. In a group text Wednesday morning, my mother-in-law says she and father-in-law are on their way, and insert husband, can't wait to see you Saturday, and OP, we'll miss you. So I respond and say, is father-in-law going? She says, yes. I'm starting to feel sad at this point because I was supposed to take father-in-law to get tamales on Sunday while mother-in-law and husband are visiting brother-in-law. I guess no one was going to tell me he wouldn't be there. Well, turns out father-in-law is now going. In fact, they are in the middle of Arizona with plans to drive through the fires in California. That's another BS post on its own. This is the group text. Me, kind of jokingly, I didn't know this was turning into a family vacation.
Yeah, and it's sister-in-law's birthday, so it works out great.
Sister-in-law is going too?
Yeah, she and new boyfriend are gonna meet us there.
And now, I'm bawling in my office. I sent my husband a text. I guess everyone is going to see brother-in-law but me.
Husband too. I'm sorry. You're welcome to come. I'm not against getting a second ticket. We can stay at a hotel. I can't help my parents are gonna go. I'm sorry, baby. I would really like you to come if you can.
So basically, there's this family vacation happening, and I'm not a part of it. No one, not even my husband, thought to invite me. I'm sorry, you're welcome to come. After I expressed discontent is not an invitation. It's a bone toss. How long has he known everyone was going? I don't know. He says he found out sister-in-law and her boyfriend were going when I did.
Wait, that's even worse. Sorry. This changes everything. No, I'd be like, why did everyone else get invited? I would be more angry. Sorry, I would be more angry.
You would think the husband would be angry too and express his discomfort or just
go hang out with your
annoyance.
family. Is your family close by? If they're
I don't
close
know.
by, go hang out with your family and still have a conversation with your husband and say, hey, really don't appreciate not being included. Even if you didn't realize that everyone was going, once you did, you should have
And again,
included
this
me.
is during the holidays because it's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving time.
No.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo this man.
You would think the husband would be like, so there's a lot going on. There's a huge mess.
He's like, everyone
Everyone's
keeps
going.
getting
What's going
invited.
on? Like, I
And
guess you're coming now.
it's totally possible that
Yeah.
this was super last minute. Everyone just kept inviting themselves, and it was like, whoa, what's going on? This is supposed to be a brother trip.
Yeah.
But once you find out that everyone's being invited, you might as well go to your wife and say, hey, like, everyone's coming. Do you want to come?
Yeah. How long has he known everyone was going? I don't know. He says he found out sister-in-law and her boyfriend were going when I did. That might be true because sister-in-law is a pill and horrible at communication, shocking, with anyone other than mother-in-law. But if mother-in-law knew, why didn't she invite me? Why is no one saying, hey, OP should be here too? I'm heartbroken, y'all. I'm so sad and hurt. It's dang Friday, and I've been crying and not sleeping since. There's this whole other group text going on without me where they're planning stuff for the strip. WTF. Am I being overly sensitive here? And there's an update.
No, you're not being overly sensitive. That's not cool. That's really not cool. And the fact that they still aren't making an effort to include you is really messed up.
Yeah, and this does have we saw it there. Was it the sister-in-law is terrible at communication.
Yeah, I think you go to your, but
Yeah.
it doesn't, like, who cares if the sister-in-law is terrible at communication or whoever is terrible at communication in this story? Your husband should be communicating with you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in a relationship with anybody else in the story.
I want to see what the husband says. Yeah,
I think you have to have a big old conversation with him.
Update. A couple of other points that are relevant to consider. One, husband and I don't have kids. We tried, poured our hearts into it, got nothing in return. Maybe one day we'll look at other ways to have a family, but for now, we're happy to be done trying and focus on each other. Travel, save her a condo, and other things. I know if I was the mother, her grandbaby's mother-in-law would have included me. So, all of this is feeding my insecurity relating to my infertility. Husband is fertile AF, good to know. So maybe mother-in-law feels slighted out of grandbabies. She'd never say that because no one owes their parents grandkids. But maybe? Second point, mother-in-law and father-in-law is on the discriminatory spectrum. They are white, I'm Latina. Sister-in-law for many years had an Asian boyfriend. They broke up and sister-in-law started seeing another guy. Mother-in-law was so effing excited about this new guy because he was American. Actually, he was a Canadian citizen, but he was white. Funny, her Asian ex-boyfriend was third-generation American. There are other examples of this, but I think this gives you context regarding my feelings about being a member of this family. No one ever says anything outright rude or discriminatory to me, and husband being white doesn't pick up on these subtleties. They may have opinions about a non-white population, but I know they like me as an individual. Third, I'm adopted. It's a long, dramatic story, but my birth mother abandoned me and her two older daughters in a rundown apartment in 1984. When police found us, my sisters were dehydrated and my diaper had maggots. Their father took them and raised them, but my father fled the country because he was Iranian and it wasn't a good time to be Iranian in the States. So, my godparents raised me. They were a little rough, so I'm not close with them. I'm used to family effing you over. I probably expect it. Fourth, by the time it all came out that everyone was going to visit brother-in-law, husband and I had decided that we would not do our Christmas trip this year so we can save money for our home purchase. 5, family trips are a thing with this family. We've all gone on a few at this point, so this isn't some weird thing that's new, and no one knows how to navigate. So Wednesday night comes and husband and I talk about it and express how I feel unloved and unwanted. He says that no one tried to exclude me, but I say that's kind of the point. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And everyone was so indifferent to me that they didn't even think to invite me. Husband keeps insisting I should just go.
It's like, that's not the point.
Not the point.
It's like, yes, maybe you can be like, I understand, I really want you to go. But the fix here isn't just go. The fix here is, I totally understand that I made you feel unloved and like neglected. I'm going to do better in the future to make sure that I include you.
Yeah.
That's the fix.
Yeah, that I would bring up, hey, does your family not like me? Did your family not think about me? What's up with that?
Yeah.
What's going on
It's
here?
like, even the thing is, even when people just don't think, that's still hurtful.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, they maybe didn't do it intentionally, but still, even an unintentional didn't think about me hurts me.
But I don't want to go now. It feels weird. Maybe I'm the one that made it weird? No. But I don't feel wanted there. That's for sure. Husband keeps saying, of course I'm wanted. That's a given. But he's just not understanding my point of view or how other I feel on so many levels. Also, if I went, we'd have to stay at a hotel, and mother-in-law hates when we do that because she likes everyone together under one roof. Should I just go? What do you think, Sophia? Should we just go?
I think that you haven't solved the problem here.
Yes. I personally think
I think you can't. I don't think you can go until he gets that this isn't the issue.
point.
Like, he hasn't gotten the point yet. Well, but I think if you don't go, you have to go do something fun. Like, don't just go and mope at home. Like, if you can visit a family or something, or if you can go on a little weekend trip with your friends or something, do that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna stay home and mope, then go on the trip. But the best case scenario would be like, go visit your family and do something fun.
Anyway, this morning, husband blew up at me when I was crying for not validating his feelings in all of this. He says he's been kissing my butt and trying to make me feel better for 2 days. I'm still all sad and mopey. I just don't know what to do. Like, he's upset with me for continuing to be sad. I told him that was huge for me. I wasn't just going to get over it quickly. He then planned this extravagant date night for us tonight, but I don't want to go because, hello, we're saving money. Also, I am sad. I won't have a good time. He's frustrated because nothing is working. Why can't he just let me be sad and cry? It's like he's irritated that I'm still upset. But I feel I've got a right to feel how I feel. And by the way, you can feel great with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search.
Okay, story time.
There's a little bit left of this story, Sophia. Where are we now?
Your poison tonic says he's acting like her emotions are a burden. This isn't, the thing is, he's not approaching this as, hey, like, I'm sorry that my parents didn't think about you. I'm sorry that I didn't think. I want to cheer you up. I want to do something nice for you. He has said, it's not a big deal. Just come on the trip. He said,
You know what he's saying? He's like, I'm doing this for me,
Yeah.
not for you.
Yeah, he's like, like what? You're not taking into my feelings about having to baby you. It's like all of the nice things are preceded with him bullying her or like being rude to her.
It's like I'm doing something,
Or
but
belittling
I want
her.
something in return.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, since I'm doing all these nice things for you,
feel better.
feel better.
I don't
You're
care.
automatically
Like, I'm just
happy
like,
now.
I'm just gonna feel better.
I
He's like, why
invited
won't
you.
feel better.
Yeah, I invited you to this trip.
You're welcome.
You're
Feel
welcome.
better.
Problem solved, right?
Yeah.
No.
It's like the issue LP is dealing with is larger than this trip.
Mm-hmm.
She feels like your family does not love her, does not think about her, does not think of her as family.
Someone said Lady Chaos 1992 says victim mentality. Shake my head.
Do you mean that for which person do you mean that for? I wonder.
Probably for the husband.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a little bit more.
I've accepted all of this as it is, but it's not a switch I can flip. Now he's saying he wants to cancel the trip, but what's that going to do other than piss mother-in-law off and make me feel even more out of place? I certainly don't want him to cancel it, but he is convinced if he doesn't go, it'll all be fine. Wrong, right? Like nothing is being done to make sure this doesn't happen again. I understand to a certain extent that I can't expect his family to love me the way he does, but it isn't his responsibility to stick up for me and say, hey, if this is a family thing, y'all need to let me know so I can include my wife. It's wrong to not include her. Jeez, even my brother-in-law's soon-to-be ex-wife will be there.
That's the funniest thing.
What?
That is the funniest thing because the point of the trip was for OP's husband and the brother-in-law to get together and talk about divorce
And get over the divorce.
But the wife is coming? What?
So everyone's invited, even the person who caused this.
Maybe you can't come on the trip because he doesn't want to divorce you.
But that's the end of that story.
My husband wants to go on an international vacation with his family while I'm pregnant.
How pregnant is the real question?
I'm female 40, struggling with my husband, male 42. I had originally posted here thinking this was an issue with my in-laws, but I've realized the issue is with my husband and me. And by the way, this comes from FK1025. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. In short, it seemed to me that my husband's parents and brother invited themselves on our baby moon. We will be 26 to 28 weeks pregnant on our travels. I have made it very clear to my husband that I wasn't interested in a family trip. He assured me that it wouldn't be the case and that we'd only have to see them for a limited amount of time. After several fights on the topic, my husband asked that we spend additional time with his family. I told him I was fine with them tagging along to do what we were doing, but that I wasn't interested in doing anything I didn't want to do or changing my plans for them. After another fight, my husband finally admitted that he didn't address this sooner because he didn't want to hear what I had to say and that he had certain obligations to our family. He wants me to be close with his family, and he feels like limiting our time with them on this vacation could cause problems. I think he's asking for a lot from me to make more compromises than I have already offered with this vacation. The location we are going is only because our family has a connection to it. It's an 11-hour flight, and I have to take an 8-hour round-trip train to get to where my in-laws will be. There's no other reason that I'd go to that location. I'm trying to express the level of discomfort I could be in at this point in my pregnancy, and I feel like he isn't going to be recognizing that. I feel unsupported, and I'm very concerned about being prioritized on this trip and in the future. I don't even want to think about the baby, and the fears abound. What is the compromise when we don't see eye to eye on family obligations? If it seems like it's going to be out of the way and the purpose is for you guys to be close together, I don't think it's intended for them to be on this trip. Maybe plan another trip?
Yeah, maybe just this, like if they do a lot of family vacations, like maybe this one is just one that you miss, you know?
Yeah.
Or that he misses. That could be okay.
Yeah, that sounds like the move.
Yeah.
I don't think you should force a vacation, husband.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Happy life, happy wife.
Exactly.
We got an update. To start, I oversimplified the baby moon. My husband and I, as well as my in-laws, are American citizens living in the U.S. My in-laws live about 3 hours away from us, and we see them several times a year. My father-in-law has been working in the U.K. since last summer. When we originally told he was just outside London prior to becoming pregnant, my husband and I agreed to come visit. I'm a huge traveler and have several close friends in London. My husband has never been, so I figured this would be a perfect opportunity. We could stay with father-in-law for the time in London and then travel
travel to Scotland on our own. Husband and I both work demanding jobs and don't take much time off, so this would be our big trip for the year. Obviously, things changed when we got pregnant. We still hope to see this trip as our baby moon, but some changes would need to be made. We tentatively blocked midsummer as I will still be in my second trimester and the weather would be somewhat tolerable. My OB also approved the travel and timing. More on this later. Things started getting sketchy at the holidays. My father-in-law came home several weeks and we spent Christmas at their U.S. home. Father-in-law shared info about his accommodations, which are actually in a very small town about 2.5 hours outside of London. None of my British friends are aware of the town. My mother-in-law also announced her plans to stay with father-in-law for several months, inclusive of when we'd be there, and encouraged us to coordinate our plans with her brother-in-law. I immediately raised concerns to my husband about his family seemed to think this was a family vacation. I made it clear that I wasn't interested in that for a number of reasons. We traveled with them before and it was a nightmare for me. Plus, I let it be known that my vacation time is precious and I want it to be what I want to do, especially given this will be my last trip without a baby. Ooh. That's why people take baby moons.
Baby moons? I've never heard of that term.
Yeah, dude.
Baby, like,
We should.
what is it?
I'll show you. I'll show you one day.
Okay.
It's basically my parents went on a baby moon, but Sawyer was with them.
Is it
They
just
just went to the beach with Sawyer without me and Tate.
Is it just a trip without kids before a baby comes?
Well, they had a trip with Sawyer and they just went without me and Tate.
Okay, but is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know.
Then you don't know what a baby moon is.
Well, it sounds like a trip before the baby, and it's just like a time to be together last before you have another additional family member.
That's what I said. Get off of me. Well, anyway, so yeah, he wanted a baby moon.
But everyone wants to be together.
Everyone wants to be together.
He assured me that he'd be talking to his mom about traveling with his brother, but he also brushed it off as me overreacting. This should have been a bigger red flag for me. Over the next 2 months, I grew more and more concerned. I overheard conversations between my husband and his family, and whether they'd say anything about this trip. He didn't overly correct them. I would try to talk to them about it, and he gaslight me saying I was making up problems in my head, or I didn't know what I was talking about, and I had even suggested canceling our flights and going elsewhere. Just the two of us. Or I offered for him to go to the UK with his family while I would do something more relaxing with friends and my family. Every discussion turned into an argument. Finally, I built a tentative itinerary for our trip, which included 2 full days and nights at a small town they'll be staying at. I also offered for anyone to join us on any part of travels around the UK, but stressed a few key points. No one is sharing a hotel room with us, and I am not changing my plans for anyone. If they don't want to do something I want to do, they don't have to. So it sounds like she's compromised.
Compromises are good.
She's compromised for the family to come along.
Mm-hmm.
But she has these 2 things. These only 2 things.
Do we think that they're going to happen?
Conversely, if they want to do something, and I'm not doing it. The final straw came about 2 weeks ago when they were asking to rearrange dates, more convenient for them, which I accommodated, and my brother-in-law expressed his desire for all of us to go to Paris to meet up with a friend. This friend is an OnlyFans model less than half his age, who he has never met in person. I lost it and told my husband I didn't want anything to do with brother-in-law anymore and his family could do their own thing. We would still go to their small town for 2 nights, non-refundable train tickets, but that's all I'm willing to give. And that's when my husband started with the talk about there will be a level of obligation to travel with them and how I'm unwilling to compromise. It was after that last conversation that I posted. I felt crazy that my husband and I could be so misaligned on this. After reading the replies, I met with my doctor once again to discuss any concerns. She still gave me her blessing. While I'm in an advanced maternal age, I do not have any other major risks. I am a healthy weight and worked about 4 to 5 days a week prior to pregnancy. I wish I could say I kept that up, but it's more like 2 to 3 days now. I'm still very active and I've been lucky with the pregnancy so far. I also have compression socks and plan to get up every hour for stretches on the flight. I'm going to a destination with excellent healthcare. My best friend is also a physician and her only concern for me around the stress caused by the in-laws. All that said, I'll continue to monitor how I feel, and if there's anything concerning, plans will change. In terms of my husband, he has since apologized profusely and recognized the major problem he caused. He told his family we will not be traveling with them, and they are very understanding. The problem was never with them to begin with, but always my husband. We had several unrelated but similar issues where he people pleases other at my expense. Yeah, I was about to say, I could see that.
Yeah, that's not very surprising to me at all.
He's like, we're going on a trip. Oh my gosh, we want to come? Yeah, totally. Go for it. Go for it.
Sure.
Come along.
Meanwhile, the pregnant wife is like, what?
What's going on here?
Huh?
They're coming too.
What?
He admitted that his MO is always that he thinks I'll eventually change my mind. He'll say things like, you and the baby are the center of my world, and I have to remind him that his actions tell me otherwise. And by the way, the next action you might need to take is going to your favorite podcast platform, that being Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and searching up OK Storytime and clicking the play button to listen to more stories just like this one.
You must take this next action.
And Angie, what do you think? Do you think this is a good step that they're taking? That they seem to be on the same page now.
I think it's good that he's aware of it. Absolutely. I think it's good that he's admitting, like, okay, yeah, this is what I do usually. I'm not going to hide it or sugarcoat it. I do kind of use you as like, you know, a fallback or whatever. I fall on this excuse. I don't know how I'm trying to say that, but, and he's understanding that that's a problem. And that's great because then they can talk and figure out a solution. I think they're on a great track.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think at the beginning, it didn't sound like a baby moon. Yep. After we got clarified, it didn't sound like a baby moon. And then things kind of got misaligned. And I was like, okay, this makes sense why everyone's like kind of confused. I was kind of confused.
Yeah, same.
We have been in couple counseling for help with communication for about 2 years, but it stopped last summer. It's clear we still need some more help. I'm insisting we start it up again. At this point, I'm feeling a lot better than I did when I initially posted, but I'm familiar with the temporary relief that comes with after these issues. I'm still uneasy about what will be the next thing and hoping we can get into therapy before that happens, and especially before you have that baby come along. Shoot.
Yes.
Definitely hit up therapy. Please be on the same page. Oh my gosh. For the love of that child.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea just in general to go to therapy before having a baby.
We've got 9 months.
9 months. We have way more than 9 months, mister.
We do. Just joking. And that's the end of that story.
I'm stuck on vacation with my wife's ex.
I'm going to need a vacation from my vacation.
I'm holed up in my room in a ski chalet while everyone else is in our group is still in the village. I'm a little wasted and feeling extremely effed up about the situation right now. My wife, Suzanne, and I met online 4 years ago. We both had some bad relationships and we both wanted something serious. Early on, she told me she was tired of the guys bailing after the relationship turned physical and that she wanted to wait on that front, which I was not just okay with, but thought it was smart. By the way, this comes from Street Humor 35, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my most successful relationship before her was with someone where we waited a few months, and I appreciate getting back to build a friendship to see if we clicked on an emotional level. Suzanne also told me that she understood if I wanted to date around during that time and didn't expect me to be exclusive until we both explicitly agreed on it. I told her that I wasn't one to try and fight a war on two fronts. I was serious about making it work with one person. Now, up until last night, I thought that she felt the same. She never once mentioned seeing other people while we were dating, and based on the way she talked about wanting to build an emotional connection, I assumed, dumbly I guess, that she was only seeing me. We're on this trip with 3 other couples and her friend, Josh. I've always liked him. He and I have some good long conversations smoking the devil's lettuce and talking about life and work. We're both in tech. I've always kind of gotten the vibe that he's a kind, caring person who goes out of his way to help his friends. He's a big advocate for people doing therapy, talks openly about what he's working on. This is where it gets upsetting for me. Last night we got back from skiing. We were all exhausted. I went downstairs to start chopping vegetables and help around another of the couples cook the group dinner. Suzanne took a shower and I chopped and chatted for like 30 minutes. I came back upstairs to bring Suzanne some wine and I hear Josh and her chatting in our room. No big deal. I walk in and Suzanne is in a towel with her legs up on the bed, putting lotion on, talking about her job. It wasn't exactly a compromising position, but it struck me as possibly intimate. If she moved a bit one way or another, she'd be giving him a view. She said hi to me, kept putting on lotion, and then grabbed the wine, totally nonchalant. Josh said it was his turn to shower and left. Sitting here now, I wish to goodness that I just kept my effing mouth shut. But I said it was a little surprising that she was putting on lotion and a towel with Josh in the room. She said she didn't even realize because she was just caught up in her story and went on autopilot. I've always known her to be a self-conscious person. She wears swimsuits that cover a lot of her skin because she doesn't like to feel gawked at. So I was getting the tingles in the back of my brain that something was off. I said something like, "You're usually so quick to cover around people." She said, "I guess I know Josh so well that it didn't register." When She said that there was just something abrasive, annoyed. It came out more sharply than I would have expected. I should have dropped it, but I was 2 glasses of wine in myself and said, whoa, did I strike a nerve? And she said, let's just go eat. But now clearly agitated and doing a fake smile thing at this point, I could feel my stomach get a little queasy and like I was headed towards a world of pain. I shut the door and said I could tell something was wrong. She said I needed to trust her and that there was nothing going on between she and Josh. I said I never imagined or implied that there was. It was really weird that she felt like she had to make that clear. Now I was feeling gross and suspicious, so I straight up said, I can tell you're uncomfortable right now. Either you tell me what's up or I'll go ask Josh. What happened next was the most uncomfortable hour of my life. I need more scotch for this. Everybody pour out a little bit of a drink. She said she had a spicy sleep history with Josh and that it really wasn't anything of my business. I said that since he's still in our lives, then I deserve to know the context. She said there was no context other than that he was someone she felt safe with when she wasn't partnered, and they would have spicy sleep now and then. I asked, when was the last time they slept together? She danced around it before saying, before you and I were exclusive. I said that was a fuzzy answer because I was exclusive with her from the time of our first date. She said she never had spicy sleep with him after the two of us had spicy sleep. I asked if she had spicy sleep with him during the 6 months between our first date and when we had spicy sleep, and she said she had. I instantly felt like throwing up, started yelling a bunch of crap I don't remember. She just had the most pissed off and disgusted look on her face the whole time. I finally calmed down a little and asked her to please give me the full story and timelines. I don't know if we want that, buddy. I don't know if we want all that.
I think a lot of people want to know the details. I don't know, just to know, I guess, but really it's just going to hurt you more.
She wasn't fully open, and I had to keep digging to get more information, and it was a very non-linear conversation. But here's what I pieced together. About 10 years ago, Suzanne's friend Rose, now 40, also on this trip with us, had gotten out of a string of short, disappointing relationships. Rose started having spicy sleep with Josh, and regularly in a friends with benefits kind of way, while he still is hitting the apps. Apparently, the agreement with Josh made it easier for her to forego spicy sleep in her dating life, which she found helpful for vetting guys to see if they were serious. Eventually, she did find the man she is married to, Eric, 38 male. Seeing the success that Rose had, 2 of other friends got in the same arrangement with Josh, and voila, they found serious guys as well. A modern effing miracle. How about that? Suzanne said she talked to Josh about giving it a try, and she was super good about boundaries and making sure the focus was on her finding a long-term partner, and even gave her advice about guys she was seeing. I said, so you would go on dates with me, I'd drop you off, give you a kiss on the cheek, and you'd go F Josh and then talk about our relationship. She said that was a crass way of putting it. And that he was so supportive and made it easier for her and I to focus on what matters more. I stayed on the high to bed and told people I was sick and said I couldn't ski. I've just been sipping something and tried riding this in between naps. Feelings I'm having right now: sadness, betrayal, jealousy, inferiority, wasted, more sad, and notes of pissed off and wanting to flee. But we are in an effing Canada, and I don't even know the quickest way to get back home. Do I try to work this out? Do I run? Do I even have a reason to be upset? The more wasted I get, the less angry I get, and I can see her side of it more easily. I'm very hungover, but reading through the comments, try to clarify a few things. 1, the only other woman who has slept with Josh, Rose, is on the trip. The other 2 couples were my friends first and don't know Josh well. Sorry, those telling me I should drop a huge bombshell at dinner. The reason it's hard to leave is because we all drove over the border together in a van and we're deep in the mountains and not a lot of transit options. If I decide to leave it, it will be a massive pain in the butt. 2, I don't have any reason to suspect an ongoing thing between Josh and my wife. I've never seen a hint of flirtation from either of them, even when I walked in on them last night when they seemed completely casual, like I would be with one of my guy friends. But I also never suspected she could compartmentalize her feelings in the way she apparently did. So I think I need to be open to all the possibilities at this point. I'm going to go skiing this afternoon with my buddy Ryan and see if he has any advice. I will be abstaining from any booze the rest of the trip, as many have suggested. We got an update. Thanks everyone for the wide area of perspectives on this. You've given me a lot to consider that I would have not otherwise. I particularly appreciate hearing women's point of views on this. The consensus from them seems to be that the arrangement with Josh made strategic sense, but that Suzanne should have disclosed things much earlier. I went skiing yesterday and today after deciding that I'm going to stay the rest of the trip. I've been looking forward to all of this all year, and we might actually get some snow soon. I've been hanging out with two of my good guy friends for the most part. Suzanne has asked if we can talk, but I told her I'm not ready and I just want to focus on skiing. I'm pretty sure she alerted Josh because he's been standoffish. Whatever. The feeling that is currently strongest is one of broken trust. Several commenters noted that the language Suzanne used made her technically within her rights to have the arrangement with Josh. The question in my mind that I keep asking is, if I had known about Josh from the get-go, what would have changed? I seriously don't think I would have continued the relationship for 6 months without pursuing other options at the same time. Suzanne knew I was only pursuing her, yet all of my intention because I wanted to make something work for once. I also can't shake the feeling that our relationship would have developed more quickly if Josh had not been around. And we want you around every single freaking day, and all you gotta do is go to your favorite freaking podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Keep us around. Don't leave. Don't leave after the story. Keep us around.
Keep us around. Hang out with us for a while.
It definitely would have changed things if he knew about Josh.
Yeah, but then that last thing was actually interesting too, because like if Josh wasn't even in the picture, it probably would have been way less than 6 months.
Because he could have been Josh would have been a pacifier. So if I am going to you for emotional connection, but I'm also seeing someone else, I'm going to them for physical connection, and sometimes an emotional connection, I wouldn't be focusing all of my attention on you emotionally and physically. I would just be like, kind of emotional here, emotional and physical. Over time, and then it transitions over time, rather than like I have nothing to all of a sudden something.
Exactly.
I spent some time last night looking at old texts and emails from our early days. About 3 months in, I started crying because I remember how smitten I was by her by then. I was really starting to see a future with her. Now I read her responses differently. What seemed like a cute, coy replies, but like an apathy in retrospect. It robs a lot of the magic from my memories, and I just feel empty. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle things, but I'm seriously considering talking to Eric one-on-one before the trip ends to see what things look like from his perspective. We're here until Thursday, and there's time, but until then, I'm just going to ski my brains out and pray for snow.
My friend's boyfriend demanded my room on a trip, but I already paid for it.
Sounds like you're out of money.
My friend group, me, 26 male, my girlfriend, 25 female, and friends, Jay, 25 male, Eva, 26 female, Liam, 25 male, and Frank, 26 male, have a tradition of renting a cabin every summer and winter. We should have that.
I love that. I would do camping, but someone doesn't like to camp.
I like to glamp. The cabin has a master bedroom, double bed, a twin room, 2 single beds, a loft, 2 single beds, and a pull-out couch in the living room. My girlfriend and I have always paid extra to use the master exclusively. Everyone else shares the remaining beds, and Eva usually takes the couch since she snores and she doesn't want a room with a guy. Gross! By the way, this comes from WildWin9820, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, this year, Frank asked if his boyfriend Ed, 28 male, could come with us. None of us had met him. None of us what? No, I think none of us had met him, but Frank said he'd cover meals to make up for the cost. Ed seemed nice at first and paid for dinner the first night, which was cool. Problems started when we got to the cabin. Ed said he and Frank wanted to take the master bedroom. Too bad.
Too dang bad.
I told him, maybe a little harshly, that my girlfriend and I usually use it since we pay extra. Ed said he didn't get what the big deal was and that we could sleep in one of the single beds or the couch. It sounds like they're already there.
Yeah.
In which case, OP's probably already paid.
They've already paid. Also, if you wanted it's tradition too, right?
It's tradition. You can't just bring another person and then be like, well, I want to know.
It's not really how it works. Unless you talked about it beforehand.
Yeah, unless you talked about beforehand.
It's like, you know what? Let's just get a cabin that has 2 awesome bedrooms.
Exactly. We could change it up, man. These single beds are small and could not comfortably fit 2 people. Plus, Eva would have to share a room with one of the guys, and she didn't want to. Ed said that my girlfriend and Eva could share the couch, and I could room with one of the guys. I didn't want to room with a guy when my girlfriend and I have been together a lot longer, and there's no reason for me to room with someone else in favor of a couple who's been together less than a year. Jay and Liam tried to help, like giving Ed and Frank the couch so they could sleep side to side, but Ed said he didn't feel comfortable in open spaces and insisted on the master. Is Ed the new one or is Frank the new one?
Open spaces? What are you
Is
What are you
Ed-
doing in open spaces that makes you afraid?
Okay, yeah. So Ed is the new one.
Why are we afraid of the open spaces?
Why
What?
are we afraid? Where was I? I lost my place. Okay. Ed and I argued more, and he called me a closet officer, saying I didn't support his and Frank's relationship by not letting them share a room.
I see now. I see now.
Lord.
Okay.
I was about to shout when my girlfriend shut me up and told Ed we'd take the couch. Well, they better be paying more. They better be paying more if they're going to steal your space.
Yeah, that is true. How long are they saying? Just a weekend, right?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe longer. I'm not sure. We didn't see them much the rest of the trip. I mostly hung out with my girlfriend and Eva on hikes. Ed and Frank used the master and left a few days early. They weren't even there.
They're there. They just wanted a little hotel to do who knows what.
My girlfriend, Jay, Liam, and Eva and I have been talking about what happened. Jay supports me, but Eva and Liam said I made a huge deal out of nothing and that letting them have the master for a week wasn't a big deal. Even my girlfriend says I took things too far by keeping everyone up. Keeping everyone up? I'm still pissed about being punted out of the room, but I think I might be an a-hole because it was late and everyone wanted to sleep, but I kept dragging out the argument and didn't welcome Ed after he argued with me. Am I the a-hole? No?
No. Also, it kind of sucks that your girlfriend didn't really have your back on that
Yeah,
one.
that sucks. Like, that was your room. You paid for it. You were already presumably, like, settled. Because if it was late, you probably were already in the room. And then Ed just started saying, I want it. I want it. And you were like, no?
Everyone raise your hand if you're afraid of open spaces. And if you're not, I don't know. Don't raise your hand.
Don't raise. What was that for?
I'm just seeing if anyone here is
Afraid
of open spaces.
Yeah, usually.
Because if
people are
he's afraid
fine.
of open spaces, then maybe you could have had like some curtains around them.
Yeah, we
or,
could
like,
make a little pillow fort.
Dividers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around, I would say.
Because he's been presumably in the closet for so long, so he doesn't. Wouldn't you think he'd like to be in open spaces? It's a gay joke. When you say he
That's
likes,
a gay joke.
Happy Pride, happy Pride, happy Pride.
when you like to be out, you know, that's
Out
like
on
really
the
like I'm
walls.
confused there.
Yeah.
What's
you
the
tell him.
what's the meme?
Riley.
What's the meme,
What?
Sophia? Where it's like, this is my friend Valentina.
Oh, she's an ally.
Yeah, you just say ally. Just say ally. You go ally.
I lie.
There we go. Consensus, not the a-hole. Commenters tell OP to send them a money request. Comments by OP on why Frank wasn't telling Ed to shut up. Frank has always been the quietest. I don't know why he didn't say anything in my defense because I'd never want him to think I didn't support him. Ed seemed cool at first, paying for dinner at a pricey place we ate at one night, but everything went downhill after that. I did my best to ignore both of them after the blow up. The cabin had enough beds to sleep 8 people, 2 on the couch, 4 on the twin beds, and 2 in the master. This was my fault because I didn't think about it until we got to the cabin. I incorrectly assumed Eva would continue to sleep on the couch and Ed would take one of the spare twin beds. Which, honestly, yeah, maybe that was an incorrect assumption, but also if they wanted something different, they should have said, can we find a different place?
Yeah, expectations, dude.
It
And
was-
I
yeah.
bet you $10 this happened in Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg.
What?
There's just a lot of cabins in Gatlinburg and Pigeon
Oh,
Forge.
okay. You're just naming a place where they're probably at.
Yeah.
It was late and everyone wanted to sleep. My girlfriend was getting annoyed with me for keeping everyone up. So I ended up just sleeping on the couch like she wanted. Eva ended up sleeping in the loft by herself, so she was okay. But yeah, the whole thing sucked all around. Eva usually sleeps on the couch, so she won't have to share a room with a guy. The couch sleeps too, and since my girlfriend and I still wanted to sleep in the same bed, the guy suggested it. The other 2 rooms only have 2 tiny beds. Eva ended up sleeping alone in the loft while Jay and Liam slept in the downstairs bedroom. I think they thought it was better than us sleeping separately. I'm still mad at them for not agreeing with me on the spot. If Frank and Ed paid the difference for the master, they didn't. I'm not speaking to Frank right now. There's room for 8 people to sleep just fine, so I didn't think about it. We usually split based on who has the best room. My girlfriend and I pay about 40% of the total cost, since the master also has its own bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Eva pays 10% since she doesn't get an actual bed, and the guys each pay about 16%. Eva's always been fine on the couch. I've slept on it before, and it's more comfortable than my bed back home. Also, before my girlfriend and I started dating, Eva and her shared the master so they could have privacy while 4 guys slept wherever. I could have handled it better, but these changes were all very last minute. After everything had been booked, I expected Ed and Frank to share one of the twin rooms and be done with it. We paid extra for the master. They did not. They left a few days early, so we got it back for the last 2 days of the trip. Girlfriend and I slept on the couch. Liam and Jay slept in the downstairs bedroom with 2 beds, and Eva slept by herself in the loft. I'd only spend time with Ed if he apologizes and pays me back. They ignored me the rest of the trip as I ignored them. If Frank paid for other things, he did. We went out to eat as a group 2 more times, lunch and dinner, before it became too awkward. On the 3rd day, he went out once to get more basic groceries for everyone, drinks, snacks, stuff to make sandwiches, and after that, we all did our own thing for meals. I'm not disagreeing with you that this tradition will need to change when and if more couples eventually come. Ed joined after the cabin had already been booked, and I incorrectly assumed he'd be okay sleeping in a twin bed in the same room as Frank. Before my girlfriend and I got together, she and Eva had exclusive use of the master bedroom for privacy. If anyone else in the group wanted it, they could pay what my girlfriend and I paid for it, and we'd sleep in the other room. This has worked for us for 5+ years. Again, if they wanted something different, they should have talked about it and gotten a different place.
And I'm assuming they go to the same kind of
They probably go
spot
to
or
the same spot,
cabin. Yeah, that's just weird. The times that I've gone with like John and Sam out to places, we just kind of look there and like, okay, you know, couples get kind of first pick, then Sam, and then whoever else, you know, after that. And that's kind of like the expectation of it. But this is really weird. I don't know. And is it because of the new person that came along that has caused all this?
Yeah, well, it's because Frank's boyfriend came along. But like literally caused all this problem, like when they were all the problems when they got there.
Yeah, that makes me think of a deeper issue within the friend group.
Yeah. I felt a little crazy trying to type out room assignments in a way that made sense. LOL. This is the 5th version of this post.
Oh, wow.
Update.
Oh,
do you have any
did they get their
thoughts?
money back?
Yeah, I think that you need to ask for your money. I think you need to talk to your other friends, talk to your girlfriend about this, because
Yeah, why'd
really
you not have my
weird
back
that,
there,
yeah,
dude?
no one had your back there. Like, you guys paid for more. And I think you could have a conversation with Frank, but yeah, he needs to apologize.
Frank's the new one, right?
No, Ed's the new one. Frank is the
I
friend.
would definitely talk to Frank.
Yeah.
Be like, Frank, dude, that kind of wasn't cool. We
Yeah.
expected you to stay for the whole time.
Also, Ed's
And
a
kind
new
of bullied
person.
me into taking this, and that didn't pay that much.
Yeah.
Just being up front.
Update.
Maybe I should do something like this to you to see if you'd ever be up front with me.
Bully me.
Just like do something like
Until,
this,
bully
and
me
be like,
until I confront you.
and then like she confronts me and like, I didn't
Good
know you had
job.
it in you. And then I give you a little extra money, you know?
You're like, good job. This was all a test. Take the money, kid. Go buy yourself something nice.
You passed.
Update. I had some people ask, so I wanted to update. Thanks to everyone who commented. I realized I needed a bit of distance from this group for not having my back. Yeah. On the money issue, I spent some time trying to work out the cost breakdown since many people asked about the numbers. All prices have been converted to US dollars. The total cost for the 7-night cabin stay was $1,744. Okay. My girlfriend and I covered half of that, 3.5 nights, and the other half was split between Frank, Liam, and Jay. Eva paid for gas. She drives a van for work, so she drove us all up, which comes to about $199. Ed paid for 3 meals and snacks, which came to $230, $157 for the first meal, and $73 for snacks and 2 fast food runs. What everyone paid. Me, $436. Girlfriend, $436. Frank, $290.67. Liam, $290.67. Jay, another $290.67. Eva, $199. Ed, $230. So Ed covered almost the cost of 1 night, but it was significantly less than my girlfriend and I paid for the master. The 6 of us have been going to the same cabin for 5 years, and before my girlfriend and I got together, she and Eva used the master. The others are more than welcome to use the master if they pay what my girlfriend and I do, which I see now might not be super fair to them since we're the only couple in the group, so that we can afford it more easily. But I mean, if they wanted, I don't
Go to
think
a
that's
different cabin.
Yeah, I don't think that's not fair. If like, I don't know, I feel like that doesn't make, like, it's two people.
Come on, guys. Go on.
Like many said to do, I texted Frank and asked him to pay me and my girlfriend for one night stay on the trip, $290. It might have been a little under, but I didn't want to argue anymore, and my girlfriend told me to sort this out and drop the issue. Frank paid me a few days later and asked if we could meet so he could explain what happened at our local bar. Okay, at least he paid it.
So there's more behind the scenes.
I was to see Ed there when my girlfriend and I arrived. It took some time for the conversation to start, but Ed eventually told us his relationship with his parents had been rocky due to his identity. A few months before the cabin trip, he brought Frank home to meet them for the first time, and his parents made them sleep in separate rooms. Ed said his folks implied that he and Frank would be punted out if they didn't. He said that when I refused to let them use the master bedroom, it brought up those bad feelings, and he misdirected his anger at me.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh my gosh,
Come
dude.
on.
Come on. You
okay,
made it seem like your parents were homophobic.
They were.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, he said the parents like wouldn't let them sleep in the same room because they wouldn't recognize the relationship. But he's making.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it was like my parents made me sleep in a different room.
No, I think that they were being like.
Wait, read it back.
His parents.
Wait, show it.
Oops, I am.
No, I was talking to him.
And
Sorry,
his
Keon.
parents made them sleep in separate rooms. Ed said his folks implied that he and Frank would be punted out if they didn't.
Yeah, it didn't say anything about them not.
Well, I think he's implying
Supporting
that
it.
I think that he's implying that they weren't supportive. But regardless, really, it doesn't really matter whether or not it was. Doesn't give you any excuse to be like, OP,
Oh yeah.
it made me feel like you were being homophobic in this situation. Like, one, they were in the same room.
Yeah.
They were going to be in the same room. They were to be in separate beds, but like, I don't know, push them together, dude. Literally push them together.
Yeah.
You were going to be in the same
OP
room.
and his girlfriend are not your mom and dad.
They're
your
not your
friends.
mom and dad. They're people who paid more for a room.
You chose that.
Like, that does not give you an excuse.
Yeah.
I don't totally buy the explanation, nor would I. Not the full extent of it, but I can understand how not being allowed to share a bed might bring up bad memories for him. That's not what happened. For Frank's sake, I agreed to let it go and told them I appreciated the apology, but I still need space. I'm not ready to pick up where we left off. My friends usually talk about taking another trip in November at this time, but I think I'll find somewhere closer to go with my girlfriend so I don't have to deal with this group drama again. I'm still not entirely over her not having my back either, so nothing's in the works right now. Thanks again.
She seems to be just a people pleaser, which I
Yeah.
have come to the consensus that being a people pleaser is manipulative.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh wow, you got a lot there.
Yeah, there are a lot. I'm trying to see if there are any comments
Oh, okay.
that are relevant. I think
I don't know. It's just I feel like it's wrong that Frank put this on OP. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck? This isn't what it's. I'm not your parents, dude. Like, come on. We're friends. We're supposed to have a good time at
yeah,
this.
like be an adult. Come
yeah,
on.
and separated. Compartmentalize.
Come on. But there's a little bit more from OP, some more comments to finish the story off. But before we do that, you can compartmentalize with us by listening to full episodes, stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left, but yeah, I think it seems like you've kind of solved this. It seems like Frank's a little bit of a pushover when it comes to Ed. But yeah, don't let Ed walk all over you.
Yeah.
He's new to the group. He doesn't get to do and say whatever he wants.
Ooh. Tell him.
Tell him.
Ed out of here. Ed on out of here.
Get out of here. Yeah, no, not cool. Not cool.
Man.
Mary R says it's a cop out for their behavior and you need to have a convo with her and everyone was tired, but what they did was rude and childish. Yeah, it's like everyone was tired, but that went on for a couple days. Like they insisted on being there for 4 days. So
And
this isn't just like I was tired.
Yeah, and then they just kind of ignored each other. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I tiff with my friends. I'm not gonna ignore them
No.
on a trip for a week.
Yeah. That's weird.
That is weird.
It's like
That's
really
weird.
hard to do.
It's so hard to do. It's so hard to do.
So much effort.
Yeah.
And
I
Nina
mean,
has
also,
a good response there.
oh, Nina Nilsson says it wasn't about not sleeping together. It was about sleeping in the room you pay for. Exactly. As a queer, he's using the parent thing as an excuse. Absolutely, he's using it as an excuse because he just like came up with a thing that would make him look better and would make them feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Comments by OP on why his girlfriend didn't have his back. She told me she was tired and that I should stop waffling on the issue to make up my mind if I'm upset about the room and want my money back or just let it go because I was making the entire group uncomfortable. We were friends in this group before we started dating. It feels like she sometimes puts the good of the group above our relationship. It was a long day. We left our city early in the morning, drove for almost the whole day, ate dinner, and got to the cabin late at night. She and everyone else told me they wanted to sleep. How far away the cabin is, 16 hours total, 8 hours there and 8 hours back.
This better be a baller place.
Yeah. If his girlfriend paid her share or didn't know it was that much, she paid a portion. She's still in school, and I covered a bit of her share. She knows how much the room costs because she paid her part in full before. Someone commented the apology is a lie. I might be a huge idiot, but I'm not sure why he'd lie about it. To save face, I don't think he's trying to make me see him in a better light because I made it pretty clear what I thought about him when we argued on night 1 of the trip. I'm not sure Ed knows exactly how much we spent. I asked Frank directly for the money, and he paid without fighting back. Ed would probably know about Eva paying for gas, but he might have assumed my girlfriend and I pay a little bit more for the master, not almost 50%. I won't be seeing him if he's at any social things we do. I'm avoiding the group as a whole right now. We like it because it's cheap and in a nice area. The drive there is a pain in the butt, but it's worked for 5 years. It sucks, but this is probably the last time we'll go.
Wow.
And that, folks, is the end of that story.
Yeah. You guys got any travel plans coming up?
Me?
No, just like
Oh,
everyone else.
everyone else in the chat. I mean, I do. In a month.
I do.
Going to Chicago.
Yeah.
I do in about a month and a half.
Month and a
Oh, wow.
half.
That's
fun.
Riley's so excited for me.
Mhm.
Right, Riley?
I really don't want you to leave.
Don't leave.
Keon has made my life so much better,
Aw.
and I don't want him to ever go. And I
You're
might
not
cry.
allowed to leave.
I might cry. if
Don't
you
worry,
go.
you have him.
Sweet.
You said, okay, I'm still gonna cry. But you said a month, right?
What?
Me?
So you leave?
Me? Yeah.
A month and a
Not
half.
you. A month and a half. No, you can leave. You can leave and go. It's fine. We can find replacements for you.
Rude.
My friend invited her friend to my house while I'm away on vacation.
Your house is her house?
Mi casa es su casa?
I admittedly put myself in this predicament. Last summer, I reluctantly gave my friend permission to invite her friend and son to swim with her while she was at my house sitting. By the way, this comes from Sweetly BRLA, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I also have made it easy for her to push the boundaries of using my house. We live 10 minutes from each other. We help each other for vacations because we both have lots of pets. It's nice to have someone you trust to take care of them twice a day. But since she comes twice a day and it's so close to her house, she will spend most of the day at my house. She will work from my house and she has her son with her too. She takes full advantage of getting them both out of her small condo for a while. I'm okay with it, even though I don't make myself quite that at home when I take care of her house and pets when she's gone. I'm more annoyed by how she went about asking to have this friend over. Even though I know this other person fairly well, like going to the same events over the years, I only know her through my friend. I'd never text her myself to hang out exclusively. She put me in an awkward position by telling the person that she was going to ask me. Oh, that is weird. Having the mutual friend ask for permission to hang
Yeah.
out, to invite herself over. That
Is kind of.
yeah. She even said that they wouldn't even go in the house, just go through the gate. She would probably understand, but it felt awkward to say, you can come, but not her. Yeah. We have a vacay coming up, and I know that she's going to think that she can do this again. How can I retract the invite? I thought about doing the cowardly, my husband said no, but I think that they would take it as my husband not liking them or something. I know it's my house, and there's actual technical reasons to say no for liability reasons. I am not that uptight, and I trust both of these people. I just don't want a bunch of people in my house while I'm not there. And there are some comments, but how do you think that she should retract this invite?
With your mouth?
Oh, wow.
by saying, "Hey, nah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Actually, don't come in my house." I shouldn't feel like it's like I'm, leaving the house to my teenager who's going to throw a party in it while I'm gone or
Right.
something. Like,
Right. But we do have some comments. Commenter number 1 says, I don't really get why you would care since you are not that uptight and you trust both of these people after all. But if you don't want guests, tell her no and blame the liability issue. I mean, it's real, but it's going to sound kind of lame. Don't blame your husband. That is even lamer. If you're doing it because of how she asked, that seems kind of petty. What I'd be curious about, though, is what the actual truth is, since you don't really say. Can you finish this sentence? I really don't want you having people over when I'm not there because, be honest with yourself and then decide what to do. I guess not the a-hole, but I don't really get it as presented. That's really funny. Commenter number 2 says, not the a-hole, this is your house. You have every right to ask for anyone coming in to respect your space. It feels like maybe saying yes to this guest will open the door to her inviting more people over to your house while you're out. The fact that she mentioned that they will go around the gate and not through your house seems like she already knows that you wouldn't be that comfortable with this, but that doesn't mean the guest won't be in your house, like to use the bathroom. Just be honest with her and tell her that you and your husband just aren't comfortable having people over while you're out on top of safety and liability concerns. If this is a true friend that wants to keep this mutual pet sitting agreement going, she will respect your wishes. And commenter number 3 says, it's nice to have someone you trust to take care of them twice a day. How nice. Nice enough to allow this, but not so bad that you pay someone who doesn't ask to use the pool? Personally, it wouldn't bother me if my friends came over. If it did bother me, I would stop asking them. You're the a-hole. Big words coming from this commenter.
I mean, like, it's her house.
OP responds to this comment saying, I'm fine with my friend, not my friend's friend. We've got an update, everyone. Let's get right into it. I haven't spoke to my friend about this original issue yet, but I am currently pet sitting for her, and now I'm definitely thinking that I'm being taken advantage of based on what she did this weekend. Our usual arrangement is that I take her small dog to my house, and she will split up her other 3 dogs with me and her other family member. She has a small condo and no yard and usually walks all her dogs. So she will leave me just one big dog at the house for me to let in and out 2 times a day. The other dogs go to a family member's house with a yard. So each pet sitter only ever deals with 2 of the 4 dogs. She is totally fine with this arrangement since I also have my own pets at home and I have no room for an additional 4 dogs. But this time, when we planned this, I was still pregnant, and now I'm 5 months postpartum, so she didn't want to have me doing so much back and forth. She told me that I would just have the small dog, and her others would be split at her other family member's house. I now distinctly remember this conversation because I almost said no since I knew I would have a baby. Maybe that's what she said to get me to agree to this in the first place. Well, we never spoke about it until last week just to finalize the details about when I would get that one little dog. Or so I thought. A few days ago, she calls me and says that she is leaving her big dogs at her sister's new house, which is closer to me, and that would be easier on me. They would just be in the yard and I do the usual 2 times a day feeds. Now, I admit I didn't remember at the time that I never agreed to go anywhere, and I would just have the small dog. My baby brain has me questioning my own memory. So in the moment, I just said okay without thinking about it. I only asked if I needed a key to her sister's house, and she said that they would meet me there on Friday to give them to me and show me where things are and also give me the small dog. I start thinking, I know her sister has a bunch of cats that she rescues, but I know that she is still moving into this new house, so I assumed that the cats were taken care of. This was a mistake. When I get to the house, her sister meets me outside while I put the little dog's crate in my car. She says to me, I don't want to overwhelm you, but it's a lot. Did my sister tell you about the cats and the meds? So she has to watch the cats now? Is that what's happening?
Dude. Hi, I know that this is about to happen right now, but were you told anything that you needed to know?
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. About that time, my friend is coming over and she laughs and tells her sister, no, I haven't told her yet. And her sister gasps, you didn't tell her? I feel confused. My friend doesn't ask, just tells me that I'll need to throw some food to the 4 cats. And her sister adds one of them needs medication once a day, and you don't have to do litter because I have 2 litter robots. I'll pay you. And by the way, our parents' dog is here too and gets meds.
Okay.
Holy crap.
This is a full-time job
Yeah.
plus overtime now.
Yeah. We're looking at 7 animals that aren't hers. No.
I'm not gonna
9
lie.
animals. I did that wrong.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm saying I can't do this.
Yeah.
I know that this is messing your stuff up, but you didn't tell me this. I can't do this. So you can feel like this is on me, but
Yeah.
I know it's not because you didn't tell me any of this.
Yeah.
So good luck figuring this out.
Absolutely.
Because I can't do it. I can take care of one dog.
Yeah.
I can take care of the one dog.
Yeah.
Everything else, you're gonna have to figure it out.
I am postpartum, so it's not like I'm in, perfect, healed health, perfect mental state to take care of 9 animals plus my own.
Yeah.
I know what I should have done, but again, I was still thinking maybe we did talk about the cats when we talked about her moving, but my baby brain is not to be trusted. I was also put on the spot. They were literally packing the cars for their trip. After I left that whirlwind, I remembered her sister just closed on this house a few months ago, and I verified this in my texts to my friend about it. She has been slowly moving from her parents to this new house because she has a bunch of rescue cats. So this was never part of the original pet sitting agreement we made months before. Then I know for sure that I didn't agree to the parents' dog because she told me once I was at the house and gave some excuse why. Don't even remember.
Please tell me that you did not let them just leave.
I
I know
well,
that they're just
sounds like
packing
she
up the
did.
car. No.
It sounds like she did. Yeah. Yeah. I think,
Oh.
yeah, because after I left that whirlwind. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
oh my gosh, this poor woman with baby brain. My friend definitely just came up with this idea, I guess, when she realized that it was way more convenient for her to bring her animals to her sister's house with a big yard instead of the other family member's house where they would be in a smaller outdoor pen. She even mentioned when I was there Friday that she doesn't like the way that person handles her dogs. So she manipulated me into pet sitting 9 animals. I have the small dog at my house and 4 dogs and 4 cats at the sister's house. 2 pets that need meds. I am so pissed and don't know where to start the conversation we will definitely be having. But I know where you can go to watch full episodes with more stories just like this one. You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We'll be there for you, and we won't do this to you.
But folks,
Man.
the correct response to this is you go, I know.
Yeah.
And that's hard. You gotta, if you're not, if you can't do confrontation, like
Yeah.
that's going to be rough. Like
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
I think OP needs to do a little Google search since these other girls won't do it. Find the most expensive pet sitter and be boop, boop, beep. Hello, friend. I found this person. I can drop them off at their like this shelter, not shelter, but like this doggy pet daycare thing. I'll send you the bill because I can't do this. I don't know what you expect from me. What?
Yeah.
And then hang up.
Oh, I just wish I could have like quantum leaped into OP's body like at that exact moment
Yeah.
that they're being like packing up the car like, oh yeah, and by the way, you have all these cats and you have to take care of the dog.
Yeah.
Because you actually have all the power in that scenario. They make it feel like you don't, but you do. Because you can tell them in that moment, hey, I'm not agreeing to this. I'm
Exactly.
not going to watch those other 8 animals. And
Exactly.
go, oh, but we're like leaving right now. It's like, not anymore.
Not my problem.
Now you have to figure out who's going to actually take care of all these animals
Exactly.
because it's not me.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Dang.
There's a tiny bit more to the story. For comparison, when she takes care of my animals, I have 2 dogs and she lets them out 2 times a day. But she can leave them outside for longer if she can't make it, just to make sure that they come in for the night. 2 cats that are indoor and outdoor and have an automatic feeder, so she just has to check their water. And she works from home at my house, swims in my pool, and what the original post was about last summer, her wanting to bring her friend and kid to my house to swim with her and her kid. Edit to add, I'm doing this for 7 days. We never pay each other. This would be well over $1,000 worth of services with a pro. Her sister has said that she would pay me, so I'm going to make invoices for her and the parents' dog. I'll make one for my friend too, but tell her that she will pay me back by pet sitting. She won't know that I will be finding someone else, and I'm going to tell her the day before I leave for my trip.
You're just being. This is absurd.
It's absurd.
This person doesn't value you as a friend.
Yeah.
A friend wouldn't do this to you.
Right.
So, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's just, big issue. I stand with our original arguments of just like being, no, sorry, I can't do that.
Well,
That's
no,
just so
because it's like
insane.
one dog. That's like she has to take care of 8 animals at the sister's house, and then she has the one small dog at her place.
Yeah.
So she would have to go take time out of her day to take
Yeah.
care of 8 animals while she also has a newborn
Yeah.
to take care of,
Yeah.
which is absurd. Newborns aren't allowed around cats or like certain
Yeah,
animals for like certain reasons and like all this stuff. It's like, so what are we doing?
What are
like,
we doing?
come on.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad that story's over. I hope she just...
Is it over?
It is over. That
Oh.
was the end of it.
We planned a family trip for my mother-in-law. Now my parents are upset.
Well, maybe you should have planned a better trip.
My husband and I used to go on the same day trip with our families as kids. He went every year with his family in the spring and went to a bunch of other places throughout the day. It happens to be the same place with connections my grandfather had through his whole career, and my parents took me with my grandparents in the fall. By the way, this comes from Just Say and Throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So we would stay at this one place and go to a museum there because my grandfather loved to tell us about it. So everyone here has a meaningful connection to the place that we went to. We are very fortunate on both sides of our family, are very loving and involved with their kids, helping out very regularly. My father-in-law passed away over a year ago, and my mother-in-law has taken his loss, understandably, very hard. She has said that it is difficult to do things and go places where they used to go. My husband spontaneously decided to take the kids to go to the place they always went in the spring and really wanted to bring his mom so she could see that life still goes on and it's good to make new memories while remembering the time that she had with her husband. I was torn about it because I knew my parents also wanted to go with us, but my husband really didn't want to make it a whole party. I think in his mind, he thought that it wouldn't have allowed his mom to process things in the way that he had hoped. We planned to take a different special trip with them in the fall where we could really stay at that one location, visit the museum, and my dad can share with my kids about what his dad had done. On the way there, I remembered my dad had mentioned stopping by my house today to pick something up for Easter dinner on Sunday, so I texted him and said that my husband surprised me with a day off and we were taking the kids out, and I could just stop by later. This way, he wouldn't wonder what was going on. He asked follow-up questions one at a time, which led to me explaining where we were going. Which means what, Sophia?
I don't know.
It means
What
that
does it mean?
an ICU in the chat, that is, father-in-law might crash the party.
Oh.
And this might, upset husband, upset mother-in-law, trying to, process. And
Oh, I see it now. I see the you now.
I tried to keep it vague, but he kept asking questions one detail at a time until he got the whole situation. I am a truthful person, and I knew that they would find out eventually if I didn't tell them. My chatty children would have, and things would have been way worse. My dad was very upset that we would go without them, and he sent several texts asking why we were trying to hurt them and leave them out. I tried to explain that we were only going to this place for one thing and that we weren't doing anything related to my grandfather. I said that we were going to do it with them and do it in the fall. It ended with him saying that he needed space, and my parents canceled Easter. It ruined the whole trip for me, but I put on a happy face for the kids. I mentioned the situation privately to my husband because he could tell my mood shifted, and he was annoyed but also kept things going for the kids and his mom. Even though it was the main reason we went, we were only at the place my parents wanted to go for 1 hour, and it was a 2-hour drive there. The kids had a fun day, and we went to a variety of places along the way, there and back, as all good road trips do. My husband's goal was to recreate the trip his family used to go on with his dad, which is very different from how my family did things. At the end of the trip, my mother-in-law told me that she could tell I was off and had a guess about the situation and that it wasn't fair that I got put in the middle of everything. W mother-in-law.
Yeah.
W mother-in-law. Overall, I just need to know if I am the a-hole for not accommodating my parents and what I can do to make it better. There is an update.
I don't think the a-hole. I think again could have been avoided. I don't think anyone necessarily. Maybe the parents are a little bit a-hole-ish for overreacting, but I don't think anyone's like super intensely in the a-hole category for me. I think it's just like there was a lot of miscommunication that happened.
Yeah, I do think, especially now at this point, OP should have, because also, I think it's kind of a important boundary to set where it's like, hey, right now we're here for, you know, for mother-in-law. She's grieving her husband who passed away, and you know, my husband thinks that this could be a good thing for her, and I think it'll help her. We won't, you know, spoil the surprise of, you know, taking the kids to the places you want to go to. We'll still have that experience. So like, can you grant us the space to like do this for mother-in-law?
Yeah, I think that would have been a good conversation to have.
But we have an update. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried communicating with my parents my intentions for their trip in the future, but they were still upset and said it was not good enough. They explained that the reaction stems from years of my husband not being as active a participant with them as I am with his family over the years. Admittedly, he isn't a very social person and doesn't like to sit still, but he always tried to be there for my parents and help with different projects. There were a handful of times in the past over 20 years when my in-laws would invite us to go to places with them, and we would, but my parents didn't usually initiate any plans. Spending time with them would involve going to their house and watching a movie. We used to do this weekly while dating, but now my husband would rather watch movies at home, especially with our kids being little and having early bedtime. We were always over at my parents' house to hang out, especially in the summer when they would invite us and the kids would go swim. When they have gone on trips with us in recent years, it was something we had talked about and I initiated. That would take place during the work week anyways, when my husband happened to be working. Now, in the past, my parents always hosted holidays, even when we were dating, and I never went to my in-laws for most holidays. We would split half the time at both of them for a few, but always had a holiday dinner with my parents regardless. There was so much stress leading up to it, and I would hear them complain when everyone left. My husband and I eventually took over hosting holidays after getting married so they could relax and just enjoy everyone's company. My mom had mentioned that she missed hosting because she does things differently, and she wanted to host some holidays again. We were going to start with Easter. So this was going to be her grand re-debut as director of the holiday
wait, this
dinners.
is the mom that canceled?
Yes, this is the mom of the mom and father that canceled Easter.
Ah, man.
What are you doing?
Man. How can it be your re-debut if you cancel it?
But now they canceled after finding out we went on the day trip yesterday and are saying that we haven't done enough with them over our whole time married. We recently took 2 trips with my mother-in-law to help her get past her grief. One, she had bought us expensive tickets for the kids, and we thought that she would enjoy seeing them for one of the times that we went. We spent many more times over the years having dinner or hanging out with my parents. We would see them pretty much every Sunday at church. They live closer and stop by my house more often. I thought things were evenly distributed, but apparently they were not. My parents have a history of overstepping boundaries, doing things to help without asking, and mostly buying big things for us or for the kids that we personally don't like / want / have the space for.
Like a trampoline, I bet.
Ooh, that's such a good.
And you need insurance for that.
Oh.
My mom never let Sam and I have a trampoline because she's like, the insurance is so expensive and like people always get hurt on them.
Oh.
We never had a trampoline.
And my husband has talked to them about it and asked them to ask us first. They get offended that we don't like or want certain things that they get for us. When I was a kid, I always had to pretend to like everything I got or I would hurt their feelings. They said I could tell them if I didn't like something, but then they would be offended and hurt the few times that I tried. So it was easier just to pretend to like everything and just to keep them happy. I'm also adopted and wanted their time adopting me to be worth it, quote unquote. Oh, I've always had a fear that if I wasn't the perfect kid, if I didn't get the best grades, if I did anything wrong socially, if I didn't succeed with college, if I didn't do things the way they wanted, they'd return or abandon me. They kind of proved by canceling Easter and sending me vague texts that things are going to change, including their will, which I didn't particularly care about. Wow.
Why? You guys suck.
Strong
a-holes here.
This might be me taking a giant leap, and I might be wildly off, but I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Throw it.
It's giving parents who adopt to have the kid to like manipulate almost.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
I think like you like some parents will adopt because they want a kid.
Yeah.
Rather than wanting to provide a child.
Like the badge of having a kid or the bragging, like, look at me, I'm a parent, versus like, I want to nurture this child. I want my parents, not their money or their things. By the way, if you want full episodes of stories just like this, well, boy, do I got news for you. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and search OK Storytime for 2,000 episodes to listen to. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the end of the story, Sophia, What are we thinking?
Oh, man. Honestly, it seems like even if you had communicated with your parents, they seem like the type of people that just make drama over everything.
Yep.
So I think they are strong a-hole in this story. And I mean, just don't let them bring you down, you know?
Yeah.
You could say, hey, like, we'd love to see it, but if you keep canceling things, you're making the choice. You're making the decision here.
Yeah, like if you want to see us more, then don't cancel the things we have set up to see
each
you
other.
more.
Yeah.
Where's
Silly,
the mathing here?
Silly.
Come on. Well, let's get into the end of the story. If they are concerned that we aren't spending enough time with them, why cancel the time we had planned to spend with them so we see them even less? I cannot imagine doing this to my kids, no matter how often they see other people. They see it as I'm choosing my husband and his family over them, which I never have. My husband apologized to me that he isn't the son-in-law they wanted and is probably the root cause of all this. He marches to the beat of his own drum and he sets boundaries.
Hey, absolutely. It's ridiculous that they're saying, oh, like, sorry, we had to put you in this position. It's like, no, you didn't.
I'm so sorry you made us do this to you.
It's ridiculous.
I greatly apologize for you forcing our hand.
There was no other way.
I can't hold
It had
it
to
back.
be like this.
I don't know if any of this is normal, a-hole-ish, or not. And that's the end of the story.
And there we freaking have it,
That's
man.
finito on Perintos.
Wow. Yeah, I think your parents are a bit much. Bit drama filled.
So much drama.
My friend uninvited me from her wedding because I needed to sleep after driving all day.
Girls gotta sleep.
Girls gotta sleep. Let her. This happened a few years ago. Here's a bit of the backstory before I get into the real story. Buckle up. It's a long one. I had recently become friends with this girl, we'll call her Anita, after knowing her for about a year or so from interacting through our jobs. The first time we hung out was a chaotic mess, but that's another story. By the way, this comes from OKQuit8778, and if you want to submit your own stories, just go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So anyway, she had a guy friend, let's call him Carl, that has asked her on a date, but he wasn't her usual type, so she wasn't sure if she should go on the date. I told her to give it a shot, and the worst that could happen is that she doesn't like him romantically, and they go back to being friends. They ended up dating for a few months before he decided to propose.
Dang, man. A few months?
Wow.
Girl wasn't sure, and then a few months later, she's like, well, I'm ready to marry.
All right. I help with the proposal by videotaping it for them. Anita ends up asking me to be her maid of honor because I'm the reason that they started dating in the first place. How sweet. I say yes, but also ask about her other friend, let's call her Maggie, who she had been friends with for longer. Anita didn't want Maggie to be her maid of honor, but had told Maggie that she wouldn't have a lot of time with her work schedule and didn't want her to stress. Fast forward to bachelorette trip planning. Anita wanted to plan a trip with Carl for a combined bachelorette trip to Kentucky since she's a big horse person and wanted to attend the Derby. This was right at the time of the pandemic when a lot of places were closed or had restrictions. We weren't going to be able to be in the infield to watch it like she wanted, and she was bummed, but she said that we could still go and watch it at a bar or something. I suggested that we could save the Derby trip for another time after the pandemic when we could fully enjoy it and maybe go somewhere else like the beach. My family has a condo in Florida that we could stay at for a discounted rate if she wanted, but I would fully support her if she still wanted to go to Kentucky. She ended up deciding on the beach trip, so I started to plan. Anita had 2 other bridesmaids beside me and Maggie. Let's call them Cassie and Penny. With the pandemic, we decided that we would be better off driving to Florida instead of flying because we wouldn't have to quarantine afterward according to our jobs, and it would end up being cheaper. I did not make very much money at the time. I was working at a vet clinic for about $12.50 an hour.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
And Penny was unemployed. Cassie never gave us a straight answer on whether she was going or not, but I still calculated costs as if she was. I ended up fronting the money for Penny's share so that we could make the reservation for the condo as well. I would also like to note that during all of this planning, Anita kept saying that she was almost 30 and didn't want anything crazy. She did not want the typical male genitalia decorations all over the place, so that's how I planned the trip. Relaxing and not crazy. I did buy some nice drink tumblers, which I think were about $25 a piece, and had my sister customize them for us. Right before the trip, Cassie tells us that she's not coming. I asked her if she would pay her share since I calculated everything with the intention of her coming, and she agreed. That's nice of her. We decided to leave late evening and drive overnight so that we could be there around the time of check-in. I work a half day and go home to try and sleep a bit, but never actually got sleep. I ended up driving the entire 18 hours straight through the night on my own. I wasn't going to make the bride drive, and Maggie and Penny both have bad driving records, so I didn't want to risk my car to an accident with one of them driving. We ended up getting to Florida earlier than we expected because with all of them sleeping, I only had to stop when it was time for gas. Thankfully, my sister lives an hour from our destination, and we were already planning on stopping at her house for a lunch anyway. I end up not getting a nap at my sister's either because I was too busy loving on my nephew, who was only like 5 months old at the time. I drove us the rest of the way to the condo, so tired that my eyes were drooping at a stoplight 5 minutes from the condo, but we made it. Once in the condo, after figuring out sleeping arrangements, I decided to be nice and sleep on the pull-out sofa so everyone else could have the comfy beds. We decided to go straight to the pool and hot tub for a much-needed chill after the drive. Mind you, I've been awake for over 24 hours at this point, with 18 of that being focused on driving. After the pool, we headed to the room to figure out dinner plan. We decided to just order delivery and choose Jimmy John's.
I think it's Jimmy John's. Is that a sandwich place? Sounds like a sandwich place. Is it a pizza place?
That might be.
Who's Jimmy John?
I think it might be sandwich. I don't know. Once we placed the order, it says our delivery ETA is the next morning.
What?
So we called Jimmy John's and they said that it's because it's spring break and they are short on drivers and it's busy.
Okay, but I'm sorry. That should have just said can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
no order.
Not like we can do it in the morning.
Or, yeah, we'll come like 12 hours from now. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Like what?
No, just say you're booked.
Yeah.
Or like you don't know the
Exactly.
drivers.
Exactly. But we could come pick up our order in 20 minutes if we wanted. So I told the other girls that I can't drive anymore and that I was super tired and wanted to stay in the condo, but they were more than welcome to take my car 2 miles down the road to Jimmy John's. They said that that's fine. Go and pick up dinner and bring it back. After eating, I end up passing out on the sofa bed while they are all chatting. Most of the days we were there, we were not very eventful, but the one night we had gone out for dinner and drinks, Anita was mad that people weren't buying her drinks. Oh, well.
Like, wait, like random people? Like she was mad
Um,
that like guys were buying her drinks? Or just
I'm
like that
assuming the
her
girls.
friends? Okay.
I'm assuming that, yeah. She had received $100 on Venmo from a guy friend of hers, and then Carl also sent her $100. So not really sure why she cares if college guys on spring breaks don't want to buy her drinks.
You're on your bachelorette trip
Yeah,
because you're about to get married to a man
right. And you're like, why
that
are
you're in a
why are
committed
people hitting
relationship.
on me?
What the heck?
Like, well, I mean, I guess if you
would you
feel that
want
way
that?
just for personal insecurity reasons,
Yeah.
I guess. But like, you can't complain about
Yeah.
you have to remind
you're
yourself,
about to get into a
I'm
committed
literally
relationship.
getting married. I don't
Yeah.
need these guys. I don't need these fools.
Yeah, these like children
Yeah,
from
literally.
school.
Spring break, college, man. Otherwise, everyone was acting like they were having a great time. We end up deciding to break up the drive home and stop in Nashville for a night, planning to go to a few bars while we're there. We get in around 6 p.m., have dinner, and then head out. I tell the group we need to leave by 6 a.m. if we want to get home at the time everyone agreed on. The first bar we go to has a live band playing, and it turns out that the band is from the same general area that we are.
Hell yeah.
We bond with the lead singer over that and our choice of. We decide to buy him a drink, so I do, and give it to him. After that bar closes at around 11 p.m., Anita decides that she wants to go to another bar for dancing, so we find one that was recommended.
Dude, I'm sorry, 11 p.m. and y'all have to wake up at 6? People are impressive. People are impressive.
We all dance and have a great time. I'm not drinking much, so I can take care of the bride if she needed. She ends up making friends with one of the security guys, and he invites us to go smoke with him after a shift when the bar closes. At 2 a.m.
Ooh, I would be so angry if this were me.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's like,
I would be crying.
if you want to do that, you gotta drive next morning.
Yeah, I'd be like,
Sorry, girl.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Everyone else will nap.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m., we are outside the bar waiting for this guy along with one of his friends when I text our group chat saying, not to be a party pooper, but we need to leave in 4 hours and I need sleep if I'm going to drive us home. Everyone ignores me, so I it up and stay quiet.
No, be like, I'm going home. Go
Yeah.
home, honestly.
Well, I think they might have all driven out.
Uber.
Yeah, they could Uber. They could figure that out.
Yeah.
The guy finishes his shift and we start walking towards the river with him and his friend. I'm a bit uncomfortable, but again, I keep my mouth shut. We find a spot to sit by the river and they start passing a blunt around, which I kindly refuse. A little after 3 a.m., they decide they want to go somewhere for food.
Dude, oh my God, I'd be so pissed.
At that point, I finally snap and say that I need to sleep if I'm going to be able to drive. I tell them I'm getting in an Uber back to the place we're staying and they are more than welcome to stay out. Maggie decides to take the Uber back with me, and I vent to her, saying that if this was the kind of trip that Anita wanted, then she should have said so, and I would have planned differently. Maggie just tells me that I should have known that this is what Anita wanted. We ended up leaving 3 hours later than planned because I slept through my alarm, and instead of waking me up, Anita and Penny were passive-aggressively texting in our group chat. Girl, let her sleep. What the heck?
I am sorry. If someone is driving you a large amount of hours
Yeah.
after 3 hours of sleep and
Yeah.
you're passive aggressively texting about them in the group chat,
Yeah. Like, come on.
what
you
are
have
you
to
doing?
understand that people need sleep to drive.
Literally to get you home safely.
Right. I end up speed packing and taking my stuff to my car and wait for them, and I'm pretty pissed off for the drive home. I put my headphones in and listen to an audiobook so that I can focus on driving and not talking to them. We ended up getting home at 10 p.m., 5 hours later than planned. When I wake up the next morning, it's to a text from Anita saying that my behavior during the trip was inexcusable and selfish, and that she no longer wants me in the bridal party, but that I am more than welcome to attend her wedding still as a guest. And also something along the lines of not going to go into detail about what I did that was so inexcusable because I should already know. That's what she texted me. She also makes a Facebook post about how she and Carl had fired someone from their bridal party and that they want everyone to respect their decision because they did what was best for them and their wedding. Girl. And all of the comments are calling me a B and all sorts of other nasty things. Holy crap. I had requested $25 from each bridesmaid on Venmo to cover the cost of the cups that I had bought, and all of the bridesmaids and the bride canceled that request and instead requested the amount that they paid for the trip back since I made it such a dumpster fire. Holy crap. What? These people are crazy.
Oh my God.
These people are crazy. But no one complained while on the trip or said anything to me at all, and all seemed to have fun up until I snapped about needing to sleep to drive for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, these are not your friends.
Not at all.
Not your
at all.
friends. They're taking advantage of your kindness and your willingness to drive them 10 to 18 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's absolutely crazy. Cancel all those requests. You got their money. You'll survive without the $25, even though that's, but like, still whatever.
Well, I think it's like $25, like times 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, like,
Still.
just like, honestly, I'd be like, cancel that request.
Just be like, okay, fine.
Bye.
By the way, what I do like is when you check out full episodes with more stories just like this one on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, just search OK Storytime.
True. But there's a little bit left of this story.
There is a little bit left. So I ended up blocking everyone on Facebook and definitely did not attend the wedding as a guest. Maggie ended up taking over the maid of honor position, and my dad ended up giving just me my portion of the money that we spent on the condo back. Oh, and Anita and Carl got divorced less than a year later.
Shocking.
And that is the end of the story. Are we surprised?
No.
Not at all.
not
Sorry,
at
you
all
marry a guy after a
surprised.
few months and you get divorced.
Yeah, and then
less
you
than a
make
year
a
later.
You treat your friends like this
Come
and
on.
then do you favors.
Come on. Like, how are you treating your husband then?
Yeah.
Come
But
on.
that is the end of the story.
My roommate moved stuff while I was gone, so I returned the favor.
Moved all your stuff into these boxes I put outside.
I moved into this flat about 8 months ago. I met Lana online on a roommate website, and we clicked well. She's a bit younger, but seemed mature. We quickly agreed to be roommates. Both of us were under time constraints to find a place to live, but have gotten on really well so far. Up until this. By the way, this comes from Where's My Room? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Our flat is a 2-bedroom, and to be frank, my room is clearly the better one. It's bigger and has built-in wardrobes. When looking for the flat, I found the place first on my own and put down a deposit to take it off the market while I found another roommate. The flat was perfect, cheap rent, and my aunt manages the property, so I was keen to snap it up before anyone else did. The area it's in is popular, so I wasn't really worried about not finding someone to room with. Because of the above and that I was there first, I took the bigger room naturally. When showing potential roommates, including Lana, around, I was sure to show the smaller room and say, this would be your room. We moved in 8 months ago, and it's been happy families. Never heard Lana complain about her room because I have about 6 times the wardrobe space that she does. I told her that she's welcome to store her off-season clothes in there or whatever she wants to store, as long as she's not popping in every morning to get dressed. She was happy with this. Just over a month ago, I went traveling. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of having people in my room, but I told Lana that if she had someone stay, her sister or friends from home, they could sleep in my bed. She said thanks, and as she's been such a great roommate and rarely has guests except her boyfriend, I didn't worry at all. I came back yesterday. I was exhausted from the flight and traveling and just wanted to shower and sleep. As I walked in, Lana was in the living room with her boyfriend. We said hello and hugged, had a very quick catch up, blah, blah, blah. Then I dragged my suitcase to my room, opened the door, and found it full of stuff that was not mine. I kind of yelled, "What the F?" and briefly thought that I was so jet lagged I was confused, but opened the door to Lana's room and saw all of my stuff. I walked into the living room and asked Lana what was going on, and she said, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. We put my stuff in your room just because it's bigger and you weren't here, and you said I could use it. I was honestly so tired I could have passed out then, so I probably wasn't in the best state, and I told her to move it all back immediately. She said they were in the middle of making dinner and I looked tired, so I should have a sleep. Her boyfriend then said, and anyway, you pay the same rent, so isn't it fair that you both get the big room at some point? I was getting really frustrated and could feel tears welling up, hysterical from lack of sleep. So I just said, we'll deal with this tomorrow, and it's getting moved back. And then I went to sleep in not my room. I've woken up now and I'm so pissed off. Lana's at work, so I can't talk to her, but what should I do when she's home? I feel like this is going to turn into an argument. I don't think it'll be as simple as, okay, let's swap now that you're home. And edits, I've taken the advice of most people on this thread and moved my stuff back. It's taken hours and I'm knackered, but I think that if I left it another night, it would be a real problem. I sent her a text when I was almost done in case she kicked up a crap storm and came home to say, hi Lana, hope you're having a nice day at work. Just to let you know, I'm moving my stuff back into my room. Didn't want you coming home and walking into the wrong one. Yes, I'm petty. I'll be talking to her when she gets in because this is out of character for her to the point of it being bizarre. She's never been anything but a model roommate, so I'm going to give her a chance before we're donezo. If she wants to be reasonable and have a chat about rent portions, I'm happy to do that. She's never had a problem with rent before, and honestly, I've never had uneven rent amounts in any place I've ever lived, whether I had a bigger room or smaller room, but a lot of people here are saying it's the norm, so I'm open to talking about it if she's not ridiculous. Edit number 2, Lana should be home in a bit. I'll update when I can. And we do have an update. What do we think is going to happen? What would you predict?
I wonder if this was boyfriend's idea.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Because he dropped that weird little comment.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you guys pay the same amount of rent, so it shouldn't make sense. You should both get the big room at some point.
Yeah, like they've definitely talked about it. He definitely helped her with all of this. Would not be surprised if it was his idea from the start. But we do have an update. Hi, everyone. I've got about 1 million messages asking for an update, but last night was a bit mad and I'm still pretty jet lagged, so sorry. But I went to sleep. Anyway, here we go. So, as you know, I texted Lana to tell her I moved my stuff back. She didn't reply to me, fine, whatever, but she didn't kick off. So I figured that we're okay. I told my aunt what had happened, who was as baffled as all of you, and I told her it was probably all sorted, just keeping her in the loop. I also told my boyfriend, who works about 5 minutes down the road. He offered to come around in case Lana's boyfriend came around, but I told him not to because then we're ganging up on Lana. He insisted on going for a coffee with his mate a couple of roads away in case we needed backup, which is a bit ridiculous, but very cute of him. So I did get myself a glass of wine while waiting for Lana, not because I was nervous, I just like wine, and she came home. I was sat in the living room and gave her a very cold hi when she walked in. She sort of froze, bag in hand, and her arms darted between me and my, not her, our bedroom door. She blurted, "Did you do it?" And I said, "What? Move the rooms back?" "Yeah, of course." Her eyes went all wide and she dropped her bag and ran into the bathroom. I could hear her talking on the phone, so I was like, yippee, I guess Tom's coming around. Fun. I heard the door unlock and I was about to go full Hulk on how psycho she is when she came out of the door and stood between our bedrooms. Their doors are adjacent and she just stared between them both, breathing heavily.
What?
It was really odd.
What?
What is going on?
What's happening? Is she turning into a beast?
It sounds like Then I noticed that she was crying and getting a bit panicky, so I asked what was going on. She burst into tears and said, "Oh my God, he's going to unalive me," and just sobbed. What? Is this the boyfriend then?
Yeah, it's boyfriend. It's because the boyfriend.
So, yeah, it was the boyfriend's idea completely, as a lot of us suspected. She's honestly always been a perfect roommate, which is kind of why I came to this up. If she was generally an a-hole, I would have known how to act, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Lana has a bit of a breakdown, and it turns out that POS Tom has always been a bit of a POS, very jealous, which I always saw hints of, but Lana never mentioned, so I didn't, and has amped up his POS-ishness while I've been away. When I left, he had finished school and basically moved in unannounced. And when she'd mentioned that he hasn't been home in days, he'd give her the, "What? Don't you love me? I treat you so well. You're so selfish," blah, blah, blah crap, and refused to move. What? That's crazier than I even would think. He moved in and that's why he was like, "Oh, you should get the big room because now there's 2 of us."
Yeah, what an actual scumbag.
That's crazy. And that's just crazy that she's so freaked out about him being mad at Lana for this. Like Lana's freaked out about him being mad at her. That's not okay.
Well, yeah. Unfortunate.
She showed me the text that he sent her. Absolutely horrific stuff. Things like, ring me in the next 5 minutes or we're over.
Okay, so we're over. Bro,
Yeah.
that's what I say. That's what you say that. All right, we're over.
Yeah.
And then watch them go, no, wait, no, I didn't mean it.
He also would say things like, send me a picture of you at your desk with something showing today's date so I know you're at work.
What?
I'd send him. I'd
yeah.
send him a beautiful picture of this
It's
finger.
harmful
right
stuff,
there. Just
dude.
that one.
Is that your ring finger?
Nope.
Whew.
Nope.
Not
Your
really.
index finger?
Nope. It's the one in the middle.
Ah.
Onto the room. As we guessed, he moved it. He did it while she was at work, which is actually a bit gross thinking of him going through my stuff, and I'm considering somehow implying that I have crabs or something he could catch just to make him squirm a bit, but I'll work on it. Lana came home and said, what are you doing? He made out it was just temporary and that I wouldn't mind. Such a gentleman speaking on my behalf, and he would move it back, and he was doing it for her, and she was so selfish. When it got a few days before I came back, Lana suggested moving it back, and he completely denied. He said that and told her that it was her idea to move it, and he only did what she told him, but it's staying now or she'd be sorry.
I don't know why, but I just immediately, the example that came into my head, like, for comparison, was like the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
America rolling up and being like, no, Panama, you want us to build the canal. And they just are pointing every like artillery arsenal on like
Yeah.
every warship they have at Panama. They're like,
Like, right?
you want this, right, Panama? You
Yeah.
wanted this.
You
And
wanted
Panama's
this.
like, yeah, we
Sure,
do.
sure.
We totally do.
So basically, Tom is a prick, and Lana sobbed and apologized and cried, and I fed her wine. She didn't want to see Tom, who obviously assumed that he lived there now. So I texted him from her phone saying our landlady, my aunt, was coming around for an inspection and staying for dinner after with my family, and he couldn't come over tonight. He sent a lot of begging, whiny texts, and then went on the offensive and called Lana a liar. So I rang my aunt, explained everything, and had her write us a fake landlord email mentioning the visit and how she was looking forward to fajitas because she's an absolute babe and I make good packet fajitas, which we forwarded on to Tom. He left her alone for the rest of the night, apart from a few texts. By the way, I hope that you never leave us alone because you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app
That's
is.
right.
Just search OK Storytime. You'll find episodes with full stories just like this one. There is a little bit more to the story. So I'm not entirely sure what we do about Tom. Lana sounds like she wants to break up, judging from her crying and screaming, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, into her whine. I think she's scared to, though. I checked with her and he doesn't have a key, so that's a relief. I've told my aunt everything and she said that she is happy to ban him from the flat, but Lana would need to break up with him first and get all that sorted. Thanks everyone for the advice. I know it wasn't the most popcorny update, but hopefully Lana will be okay. And we're going to be doing some girly crap this week and avoiding Tom. And yeah, God knows what will happen. And that is the end. Oh my goodness. So the aunt is going to ban. That is good.
Get him banned.
Get him banned.
Get him out of there.
I went to a spicy club with my girlfriend. It did not end well.
An unhappy ending.
I really effing regret going there now. It was my girlfriend's idea to go. She had brought it up a few times when she was wasted, but I always brush it off. By the way, this comes from Opening Law 9, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Now, last weekend, she brought it up again, sober this time. She wanted to go to a spicy club together with me, and it had been on her mind for a long time. She said that she was super curious. So yesterday, we went there together. After lots of talking and making sure that she was okay with it, we didn't have any rules, though. Anything that happens, we would discuss while we were there, and we would only do stuff that we were both okay with. So we arrive and just chill at the bar for a bit. We watched from a distance. She then asked me if she could buy a dance. I'm cool with this, and we picked out a girl together, and she gets a dance. She's enjoying it. The girls seem to like it, obviously, and TBH, I thought it was really hot. We talked for a while with her until she needs to go on stage. So now my girlfriend says I should get a dance too. I'm hesitant, but asked her if this was okay with her, and she assured me that she was. I just sit down, and my girlfriend goes looking for a girl and comes back with a pretty brunette. This is relevant. She buys me a dance, and I'm sort of enjoying it. Still feeling a little bit nervous with my girlfriend around, but her eyes were glued at us and she was smiling. Girl puts my hands on her body and I look at my girlfriend and she nods.
Yes, as is custom and tradition.
When it's finished, we start talking again and the girl asks for my name. I tell her, and guess what? We used to know each other. She's the younger sister of an old friend of mine, like 6 years back. I had only seen her a few times at his house when we met briefly. I didn't recognize her because she used to be blonde, and it never once crossed my mind that it could be her. So she's all excited and whatnot, but I see my girlfriend is pissed. So shortly after, we got out of there after saying goodbye. As soon as we were outside, she got mad. I swear I didn't recognize her, but she isn't buying it and keeps asking about our history. My girlfriend wants to check my phone because the girl was too flirty at a spicy club and was too comfortable around me, and she already felt like something was off. And she tells me that we were playing an act. And when I get home, I get a Facebook request from her right when my phone is on the table, and this pissed her off even more. She swears me and her knew what was going on, but honestly, I didn't. I can't speak for the girl, of course, but any ideas on how to fix this? We've been together for almost 2 years and we're living together. I just ended up sleeping on the couch because otherwise we would be arguing all night. She had brought it up again today and she's still convinced that I'm playing games with her and even said that I was already seeing this girl. Oh, wow.
I would immediately be like, all right, let's break this down. Why do you think this? And I would immediately be like, huge red flag, because if you're automatically saying I've concocted this elaborate scheme with an acquaintance that I haven't seen in 6 years, like, what are you up to?
Yeah, like, how would you recognize this as a scheme for cheating?
Right.
Unless you've done it.
Have you done this to me?
It raises some eyebrows.
You know?
Honestly, I don't know where to go from here. She refuses to believe me and is convinced that she's right. Thinking of maybe sitting down with the girl and my girlfriend so that she can help me out. Just, get her over here. That'll fix things.
That sounds like the best idea you could have ever had.
I do want to add this is completely out of character for her. I've never seen her act like this. Right now, I'm just waiting until she comes home from her mom's house. There are some comments, but what do we really think so far?
It just comes to, like, if you don't trust your partner, probably, like, don't be going with them to, like, the spicy dance clubs.
Yeah. I feel like it definitely would make sense that she's very comfortable around him, even if she doesn't know him, because she has to be comfortable with being there.
It's kind of your
to
job.
be there.
She's like, I can't believe that exotic dancer was
Yeah.
all over you. It's like,
well,
this is going to blow your mind.
Shame Witch says, I think in that moment it became too real for her. She had a fantasy, and that fantasy then actually knew you and then friended you on Facebook and could now potentially become a reality, a threat. Girls are not always told she might be hot, but there's nothing there. Well, with this girl, she was hot and something was there. No matter how small or inconsequential that connection seems to you, it was enough to topple the grip your girlfriend had on the situation. I don't think your girlfriend is crazy. I think she tried to be a really cool girlfriend, but a rogue wave that she could never have predicted threw it all out of whack. Maybe next time go out of town for your spicy clubs, and definitely don't pursue a friendship or anything with this brunette. But we do have an update. So thanks to everyone who weighed in last time. It did help me see things a bit more clearly. After she came back home, she was still upset. She didn't want to talk about it, and obviously I did. When I tried bringing it up, she got mad and at one point literally told me to shut the F up. I don't like that language. That just kind of hurt, TBH, and in return, I got annoyed. I told her that we were going to discuss this right now, and she refused. So I just left, went to stay with a friend of mine. When she found out where I stayed, she blew up again because that friend is a girl. I didn't reply to anything until she said that she wanted to talk the next day. So I came back home and she apologized, but it felt super forced and insincere. Still, she solely blamed me for the spicy club fiasco, saying that I should have known it was her and that I intentionally didn't recognize her. Right. Long story short, I broke up with her. Whoa. Big news.
I would have done the same.
Yes. Yeah, it didn't seem like the healthiest relationship here. There was only drama for the past few days, and I am sick of it. I'm not about to sleep on the couch for the rest of our lease, so we still sleep in the bed, but I don't care. Oh, interesting. So they broke up, but they still sleep in the same bed. She has tried to make amends and been all cute and crap, but I'm just tired of it. As far as I'm concerned, we're done. She hasn't seemed to accept this and tried to keep acting like nothing happened and do couple stuff. I don't really talk to her, though I think she's starting to slowly realize it's over, and she's been crying and apologizing. Oh, wow. By the way, you know what's never over? Our incoming stream of new content and stories just like this one. You just gotta go check it out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We'll always be there for you. There's a little bit more to the story, but do we have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I think, I like where we're at. I would have left too.
Yeah.
But This all just comes down to like the girlfriends being like, let's do this thing. And then treating these people who are humans that do this work like they're just like a thing. And it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about this thing.
Right.
This hot thing touching my boyfriend.
Yeah.
But once you're like, oh, wait, that hot thing has a name and also knows my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Even though they don't. I don't know. It's just such a, you cooked with fire and you got burned.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing where like you would probably want to, they didn't talk about it beforehand, but at the same time, like I don't think either of them could have guessed that they would know someone that was there. So it's like, how would you even bring that up unless you thought you knew someone, or you've heard this story? But there is a little bit more to the story. I don't see us getting back together. I'm still blown away by everything that happened. Never seen her act like this in 2 years. Gotta survive one more month here, but can't really crash anywhere for more than a few days. And she can be won't. What? What is that sentence?
She can be won't.
She can be won't. So that's it. There are some relevant comments. Officer, this comment says, wait, so your idea of a proper solution to address your girlfriend's jealousy of another girl was to sleep over at a third girl's house? Dude. Lisa Planning says, I thought the same thing. That little detail made me think that maybe he's given this girl reason to be extremely paranoid before. Devaloo said, can confirm. My ex made me think that I was crazy. I ended up acting crazy and then proceeds to tell everyone that I am crazy. Needless to say, I feel so normal since he is out of my life. I needed to be away from him to realize how much he was driving me crazy with these kind of small things. Hanging out with other girls after a fight isn't normal. Texting other girls because you're mad at your girlfriend isn't normal. Flirting with girls in front of your girlfriend isn't normal either. These small things can build up, and calling her a jealous girlfriend for pointing it out is gaslighting. OP actually mentions, talking about that spicy dancer, we're casually texting though, after I broke up with my girlfriend, of course. I'm not gonna have spicy sleep with the spicy dancer anytime soon. But you're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. And some people get really mad at that in the other comments. Yeah. So someone responds to that saying, oh, for F's sakes, you really accepted the friend request? You're casually texting her? Really? I'm going to guess that you weren't that invested in your relationship to begin with if you so easily broke up with her while also being a huge jackbutt. Or you broke up with her so easily because you wouldn't mind seeing where things would go with this spicy dancer. Did you wait until you broke up with her to start talking to the spicy dancer, or did you accept the friend request while sleeping at your female friend's house? I wouldn't be surprised if you are a huge reason your girlfriend is insecure to begin with. And then another comment says, I was on your side until this. No wonder she was so jealous. What an a-hole move on your part.
They're broken up! They broke up!
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I feel like these people probably just have been cheated on or something, and then they're possibly projecting what's going on.
Look,
I don't know. It's just,
is it like whack? Yeah, it's like kind of like, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Immediately texting the girl your ex-girlfriend was mad about.
Yeah.
But like, she's your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. She can just wipe her hands of him. Last little comment from OP says, I'm not trying to bang the spicy dancer. I need alone time after this. I don't think it's okay to almost yell at me to shut the F up. I lost a lot of respect for her that moment. I'm done with her crap. I reevaluated the entire relationship and I didn't like it. And that's finally the end of that.
My boyfriend demands gifts for his daughter, so I muted his notifications.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
I, female 32, went on an 8-day business trip to Japan. I work as an external consultant for a company. This would be a visit to scale our services. Me and 3 other colleagues would visit, but we would be at the same site for only 2 days until we were spread out to other areas. Was very excited until I told my boyfriend, Brian, 38, of 8 months. By the way, this comes from Fragrant Range 63, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, his reaction was very not positive. I asked what's going on, and he said he was spaced out because of the situations at his job, but he reassured me that everything was fine. Days later, he asked if I could take him to the trip to Japan. This caught me off guard. And I said I needed to think about it. And then he said he would want his daughter to come along too. And then his mom and his dog, and I think his cousin's interested.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Yeah. I understand his point. She's 17 female, loves anime, and has an impressive knowledge on how some very niche characters, but also I have my own kids, 4 and 5, and I would rather share that breakthrough with them, although realistically, taking/bringing them would be unprofessional. My accommodations were paid for by the client and that I had already confirmed. I got a very nice accommodation, but it was definitely booked for a single traveler. My colleagues had other rooms. Bringing his daughter would require a separate bedroom or a suite. I would not go back to cancel the accommodation or ask for larger space. Unthinkable, unprofessional, or do anything to mess up the schedule. When I told Brian, he said I should be able to ask for some changes. I also realized that he wasn't ready to pay for any of it since he said he would reimburse me later. I'm financially okay, but the whole idea of this trip is to make more money, not spend it, and potentially be unable to recover it. Also, this was never a vacation or anything, and he said things that showed me he didn't understand/believe that me and my team and I were on a tight schedule. I could surely spend time with him and his daughter after work, but while bringing them to another time and not in that situation. I didn't ask the client at all because I was embarrassed. Yeah, this is a boyfriend of 8 months. Not like of a year or two.
Yeah, you're not like married or like related or something.
Also, I began to worry about his sense of humor.
Uh-oh.
Keon knows where this is going.
I think we all know where this is going.
I see you.
Yep.
It's not like I've mastered Japanese business etiquette, but I took the time to learn, and Brian sometimes does things that get him in trouble. We would be having dinner with our client and colleagues, and I could either have him stay at the hotel, not a great way to treat a partner, or bring him along if that was permitted. Awkwardly, especially if it messed up the accommodation schedule. When I candidly expressed his concern, he got extremely pissed off and gave me the silent treatment. This stressed me out, and I told him. I left for the airport while he was still not talking to me. We only talked a few times while I was abroad. His daughter did not reply to any of my messages. I don't know if he falsely told her that she was getting an early high school graduation present trip, or if she was just mad at me. I got a hold of a huge plush anime character and took a selfie asking if she liked it. No answer. About 1 or 2 days before I flew back, he started texting me with requests. He wanted me to get XYZ, this, that, for his daughter and nieces. I got very angry because she didn't even reply, but he had no problem asking for more and more stuff, and that put me off. I told him that his daughter never replied to any of my messages, and he didn't say anything about it. I ended up silencing his notifications and buying presents for only my family. When I got back, all I wanted to do was spend time with my kids since I've never been away from them for that long. I kept putting off seeing Brian until last Friday when we met for pizza, and he looked uncomfortable. He said I let his daughter down by allowing her to think she was getting the plush toy and was also in disbelief when I confirmed that I didn't bring her anything. I told him that I didn't think it mattered since she completely blanked out on me. We had a back and forth, but there was no resolution. I feel more and more lost than when this whole thing even started. I feel like he thinks a gift for his daughter was the solution to everything, and I disagree. I'm doing my best to create a good future, and I'm a bit on the fence about continuing the relationship. I care about him and his kid, but I'm afraid of being used/dragged down, and the way he pressured me really made me uncomfortable. I'm also a bit hurt because I had built a relationship with his daughter, and not getting a single reply to any of my messages is honestly a bad look. I'm tempted to think that she's either angry because I didn't bring them along, or that maybe he told her to ignore me. I'm planning on ending things because I need clarity, but also maybe I'm being unfair. I think there's the possibility that he got overly excited and got carried away, but I know he will likely be unable to pay me back, Am I the a-hole?
Well, I mean, does he need to pay you back for anything? Because I thought she didn't get anything for his daughter, ultimately.
That wasn't the thing. It was if he comes along, I'll pay you back for the plane tickets.
Yeah.
I'll pay you back for the hotel.
So it's kind of like if she did get something for his daughter, it's like he wouldn't even be able to.
Yeah.
Or he might not be able to. You might not be able to trust that.
We got some comments. Commenter, never bring a family on a business trip, not even to Orlando. A woman I worked with did, and we all thought it was weird.
Yeah.
And then she spent her evenings with them instead of on group outings. Completely unprofessional.
Yeah.
OP says, that's exactly what I didn't want. Didn't make any sense at all. Commenter says, in Japan, respect is very important. Bringing them would show you do not respect this business meeting. And it seems he does not know how to behave in many situations. OP says, yes, I've told him many times. I don't know of any setting where what he wanted would be okay. And top comment says, Lady Scorpio, his demands were insane. Cut your losses and don't feel even a little bit guilty. This guy showed OP a laundry list of red flags. OP needs to move on. And we got an update.
All right.
Update. Thanks everyone for your advice. I wanted to clarify about the plush toy incident. His daughter and I used to spend time together some afternoons after school while her dad was at work. I did give her spontaneous gifts that she enjoyed. We would email and text each other during her time with her mom, joint custody. When I sent the toy picture, I wanted to know if it was up her alley. I would have bought it if she said she liked it, but got the silent treatment instead. I know some of you think that I was in the wrong for not bringing her anything, but that part of my decision to leave to him comes from feeling like they acted like an exclusive clique where others can't be accepted unless they give in to them. She left me on scene and left me asking hello like an idiot. We broke up last night.
Boom. Did it.
He wanted to come to my place, but I didn't allow it. I drove to his place instead and delivered 2 packages that had been delivered at my P.O. box and told him that I would return any mail or package addressed from him from now on. I didn't get out of my car. By the way, you can listen to more stories just like this without even leaving your car.
True.
All you got to do is search up what, Angelina?
Okay, story time on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is. You know what you're going to find there?
Just crazy stories like this one. The conversation was very short, but very sour. I told him that he acted too greedy and vain for me to feel any interest in prolonging the relationship. He tried to explain that his daughter was hurt because she had her hopes set on the trip. But I said this was for a lesson for her so that she learns to work for her own things when she becomes an adult, instead of piggybacking her way. And also, this is on him as a father.
Yeah.
I took off to avoid more back and forth. I asked him never to contact me again and blocked them both. I already changed my locks, changed all my streaming passwords, etc. And that's the end of that story.
I'm excluding my best friend on a trip because she wants to bring her baby.
What is this, a daycare?
I, 22 female, and my girls go on a girls' trip every December since we all have breaks from uni. We're a group of 6 girls and have been doing this since we were 18. We weren't able to go last year because of the vid. By the way, this comes from Agitated Health 4692, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My best friend, 21 female, has a 14-month-old son. Since her son was born, we haven't had a day alone with her, which I guess is understandable because she's a new mom. We tried to include her in all the plans that we had since having her child, but noticed that she would always ask if we could change what the plan was to accommodate her baby coming too. This meant that the plan was almost always a coffee shop. I genuinely didn't mind changing all the plans to be more child friendly and just assumed that she couldn't get her man or parents to watch her baby for a while. I called her a few weeks ago to ask if she wanted to come to a club with us, and she asked if we could go to a coffee shop instead so she could bring her baby. I asked if there was no one who could watch her baby. She lives with her husband who works from home and her in-laws, to which she replied that she'll feel insane mom guilt if she goes to a club and leaves her baby at home. I said that I understood, but that I really needed a night out, so maybe we could do coffee the next day. They love to listen to you.
God, you're listening to me?
She texted me the following day asking why I had such a big problem having her child around. I was baffled because I'm the one constantly changing plans to accommodate her son, but I asked her to understand me for one night. I really needed a night out and didn't want to be in a coffee shop. She sounded agitated by my reasoning, but left it at that. Now, the girls' trip is coming in a week. I didn't really tell her about the trip because I knew that she couldn't come alone, but she heard it from another friend. She jokingly asked why I didn't invite her, to which I laughed off because it felt so awkward. I told her that she was welcome to come, as always, and I would love to have her there. I thought the call was an indication that she would want to come, or that she would come alone. She called the next day to ask if the resort we were going to be staying at was child friendly. I said that it wasn't, as we were looking for more of a club atmosphere, and that's what it was. She then said that she couldn't make it then if it wasn't going to properly accommodate her son in the activities that we do. I said I understand and that I'm sorry. I got a call from her older sister last night calling me all sorts of names because I didn't want my best friend's son to come on the girls' trip and that I'm being childish.
Actually, the baby's being childish.
Oh, get him. I'm genuinely still in such shock and don't know how to even type what I'm feeling right now. We haven't had proper fun together in ages because it's either we're too busy caring for my best friend's baby or a few of us were missing because of the vid or etc. This is the first time that we've all been together since we graduated undergrad and started our masters. We've been having hectic years and just wanted one carefree holiday. So am I the a-hole for wanting our annual girls trip to actually be a girls trip? Edit, I tried to hint once that I wanted my birthday a few months ago to just be us, but she laughed it off and made a joke about how her and her son are attached by the hip and that she couldn't leave him. She asked if we could minimize how much booze there was going to be so she could bring her son. And we do have some comments, but I want to hear yours.
No.
A-hole or not.
And you're not the a-hole at all.
Yeah.
I think when you become a parent, you have to realize that your life is going to change. Like, that's just unavoidable.
So, verdict from the comments is not the a-hole, but let's read some of those comments. One Mike Nation says, info. What do the other four women think about not telling her of the plan? OP said, we all wanted to just be upfront with her about wanting her to come alone, but she's a very sensitive person and definitely wouldn't take it well. That's why we decided to keep it on the down low and just bring it up randomly this week. No Bracket Society says, I'm going to go with not the a-hole, but be prepared to potentially lose that friendship. You're allowed to invite whoever you want to the girls' night, but maybe have a separate, more low-key get-together with the best friend if you still want to stay friends. I don't think it's fair for her to bring the baby every single time, but I also don't think that it's fair to only do adult-exclusive activities.
Which isn't what OP's doing, to be clear. OP
Yeah,
is
exactly.
offering both activities.
OP responds, yeah, for sure, but I think that that's what the problem is. 99% of the time when we meet up, we go to the park or a cafe so she can bring her son. We rarely ever do anything without her and her son, which is why we are desperate for this girls' trip. We love her and her son, but it's been a long time without having actual fun, to be honest. OP has additional info on her friend's husband. Is she in an abusive or controlling marriage? Just to clear things up, we actually know and are friends with her husband. He contacted us several times asking us to take her out to a spa or something, which he'll pay for because she doesn't get time away from the baby. But she picks a fight with him and says that she doesn't want to be away from the baby. She doesn't even allow him to take the baby out by himself.
And that's also a problem that she needs to work on because that's your child's father and he needs to be able to and be trusted to take care of this child.
He is older than her and she is a housewife, but it was by choice. She keeps saying how lucky she is that she's married to a man who will provide for her and let her be a full-time mom. A lot of people seem to have the same theory as you, but I genuinely don't see it as her being influenced by anyone. She's been judgmental of mothers taking time away from their kids, even going back to work, and since we were kids.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. She has a one-dimensional view of what motherhood is, and I don't think that anyone can change that. Also, not sure if this is important, but her in-laws always offer to babysit and tell my friend to go on a date with her husband or go do things she likes, but she declines. There's no one that she feels is good enough to take care of her child. Even her own mother hasn't even been alone with her grandchild. And I don't think it's about anyone getting into her head, actually. Her husband and in-laws encourage her to take time away from the baby, but she thinks that motherhood means being with your child 24/7. I mentioned this in the previous post comments, but she criticizes our other friends and just any mother who goes anywhere without their baby. She's even against taking her child to kindergarten and the early years of school because she thinks that she won't be ready to let them go.
Okay, well, she needs to go to therapy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying postpartum anxiety.
Yeah.
This is unhealthy. This is unhealthy. You are literally saying, I don't want to put my child into school because I don't want to let them go.
Yeah, that's not fair to the kid.
And that's not a criticism to like homeschooling or anything. It's criticism to this person's thought process.
Yeah. So she clearly needs help for sure. Triplet Mom 961 says, OP, your friend is being ridiculous. When my triplets were little, my husband encouraged me to get away for a girls' weekend trip, and he stayed home with them when they were around 13 months old. They are grown now and have turned into wonderful adults. Daughter will be heading into med school soon, and one son is a firefighter, and the other son manages a restaurant. We have a great relationship, and an added bonus that they are very close to their dad because of all the time that he spent with them growing up. OP responds, oh, that's so wholesome. You and your husband sound like amazing parents and partners. I wish my friend let her husband take up any sort of responsibility with their son, but she doesn't. She sees her son as hers and not theirs. Not sure how he feels about it. Probably not great. I would not feel good. OP on never cutting her off after 3 occasions, and her friend's thoughts on clubbing. It's been a lot more than 3 occasions. Also, she doesn't like it when 5 of us go out together without her. I can understand how that must make her feel, but for her to ask us to not go clubbing and just to go with her to a coffee shop instead every time rubs me the wrong way. I posted a picture of me on a date at a pub on Instagram, and she messaged me saying, hey, have you had a problem with booze for a Tinder date? What does that even mean? She says. OP, when told the only thing that she messed up was excluding her friend and planning behind her back, she says, I agree. I felt terrible planning the trip without her, but honestly, every time we plan something and try to tell her that we want it to be just us, she'll definitely still come for the plan, but will still come with her son. I just thought including her in the planning would definitely make her come, but there was a 0% chance that she would come alone. And I also wouldn't be able to tell her to just not come if she couldn't come alone. Sounds bad, I know, but she also isn't the type to hear us out. We'll have to speak to her at one point or another, though, so I think I'll definitely have a good talk with her and let everything out this week. Let's hope that we can see eye to eye. Thank you for the advice, and we do have an update. But what do you think about those comments? They seem pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
the communication is best thing to do right now. I think you need to tell her how you guys are feeling, how she's making you guys feel, as if you're like lesser than or, wrong for having a different view on parenthood than she does.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if she doesn't respond to that positively, your answer.
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, it's just the kind of thing, it's like you need to be okay, especially at such a young age, like with people hanging out together and not with you. Like, especially if it has a valid reason. If they're just excluding you to exclude you, that would suck. Yeah. But if they're excluding you because you don't want to do the things that they want to do, then that's on you, kind of, like that's not, it's a bit like not personal.
If I were like inviting, when I rock climb, I invite literally everyone, and some of my friends don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I've invited them.
Exactly.
And if they were like, oh, you're always going rock climbing on Wednesdays, you're excluding me. I'm like, well, do you want to come? And they're like, no, you have to do something else. And I was like, no, that's my rock climbing days.
Right. It's not you that's excluding them.
No.
So for anyone who read my previous post and shared their advice, thank you. And here's an update. So we went on our girls trip and had the best week we had since before the vid started. We all kind of chose to not speak about the issue with our friend and just have a good time and sort out the issue when we got back home. The day after we got back, I texted my best friend and asked if we could come over and see her and her son, and also to deliver the gifts that we had gotten them during the trip. She read the messages and hasn't replied for 3 days. I called her husband just to ask if she was okay, and he said that she was, and he doesn't know why she wasn't responding to me. Anyway, I decided not to double text as I didn't want to nag her. But by the way, I want you to nag us. Demand more stories, because you're gonna get them. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. We've got full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just search OK Storytime. That's all you gotta do. She texted back after 3 days with an essay-like response explaining how disappointed she felt that I thought she would give up days of motherhood just to drink and, quote, be a skank.
Yikes.
Good to know what she thinks of us then, LOL. She ended the message by saying that she and her husband are trying for another baby and she doesn't have the mental capacity to deal with our crap.
Okay, bye.
After which she left all the group chats and blocked us all on every social media platform. So that's that, I guess. Best friends since year 4, and this is how our friendship has ended. Still baffled, to be honest, but maybe it was for the best. Hoping I'll see the good in this one day. Thank you so much to everyone that responded, and Happy New Year, lovelies. And that is the end of that story. My niece wanted me to design her wedding. I'm not available for that day.
Sorry, niece. I'm too exclusive for you.
I'm facing a situation and not sure how to handle it. In April of this year, my oldest niece, Dawn, 30, announced that she and her boyfriend would be getting married in September 5th of this year. My niece asked me to please handle all centerpieces and any decor for the wedding, as well as being her maid of honor. I was thrilled and worked my butt off for 4 months. By the way, this comes from Tatted Up Girl, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, it was really hard work, but I pulled it off, and my niece was over the moon with how her wedding turned out. Dawn left all of the decor up to me, saying that I could do what I wanted to, and thankfully, she and everyone else at the wedding loved it. At the reception, my youngest niece, Leia, 18, decided that her oldest sister's wedding was the best time to tell everyone that she and her boyfriend are getting married on Halloween this year. Oh, wow.
Always the worst time to do that at someone else's wedding.
Plus, that's like a month or like a couple months. September 5th to Halloween.
Not really enough notice.
I was busy and had heard her saying something, but didn't really think about it again until this afternoon. Dawn called saying that Leia had called her saying that she had bought her wedding dress. Leia told Dawn that since Dawn makes cakes, she wants her to do the wedding cake, and she loved what I did for Dawn's wedding, so she wants me to do hers as well. While I'm glad to be the person that she wants to decorate her wedding, this brings up a crap load of issues. The issue number 1. 3 months ago, my mother, who is 60, and I booked a trip for out of the town the weekend that Leia has picked for her wedding. Call me selfish, but we have been really looking forward to this trip. Our lives have always been kind of crazy, and the time away is really needed. Issue number 2. I paid for all the crap that I needed to make the centerpieces and to decorate for Dawn's wedding. I told her that it would be my husband and I's wedding gift to her. I paid for everything so she could have really nice stuff that I knew that she couldn't afford on her own, and Dawn was over the moon. At that time, I had the money to do it. 2 weeks before Dawn's wedding, I moved into a new house, then got laid off the next day. My money is tight. I have a family to help support, and Leia told Dawn that she has zero money for decorations and the cake, meaning that she expects Dawn to make the wedding cake, pay for it, and for me to pay for decor and centerpieces. With Dawn and myself just paying for Dawn's wedding, we are all tapped out. She's also expecting my parents to pay for the food since they just paid for the food at Dawn's wedding. Issue number 3. Leia picked October 30th for the day of the wedding. We live in southern Indiana, and weather in the Midwest this time of year can either be rain or even snow. The location of the wedding is at my parents' farm outside. There is nowhere to go if it rains or anything. It is all 100% outside. So, I'm not gonna lie, Leia is and always has been a huge a-hole. She thinks just because she says this is what I want, everyone should hop to. She can be really effing difficult just because. Dawn asked Leia what kind of maid of honor dress she needed to look for, and Leia's answer was whatever. She wants her wedding cake to be Nightmare Before Christmas themed, said her wedding color is navy blue, and doesn't have any thoughts about anything else. So she wants everyone to do everything and come up with it all on her own, and when dealing with Leia, that means that even though she purposefully didn't say what she wanted, what you give her will not be good enough or right, and she will throw a fit. It's the reasons that I had to stop buying her anything for Christmas and her birthday, because nothing was good enough and she would freak out, so no more gifts.
Happy birthday. I didn't get you anything you didn't want.
There you go. That's my gift, is not giving you something you're going to throw a tantrum over. So my question, Reddit, is how do I go about talking about all of these issues with Leia? I can't do what she wants. None of us can. While I do want to do for her what I did for Dawn, I'm just not in the place to do it again this soon. If I could talk her into moving the wedding to December and having it at her dad's giant building, I could do what she wants. No one would be in the rain or snow, and my mother and I wouldn't be out of town. So how do I tell her this without her turning it into me just trying to tell her what to do? We do have some relevant comments, and then I want to hear your comments, Dakota. So Hats and Top Coats says the wedding is at your parents' farm when your mother won't be there. OP says, yep. My niece didn't ask anybody anything. She just started telling everyone when she's getting married. I'm telling Leia Tuesday about the trip and everything that I put in my post. I want her to actually listen and not think that I'm just being a wiener or don't care or something. WorkSafe Account 15 says, maybe your mom could say, listen, I don't feel comfortable having dozens of people at my house when I'm away on vacation. You may use my farm, but not on a weekend when I'm not there. You have to reschedule or find somewhere else. And then watch the whole thing implode when she can't find a venue this late in the game anyway. OP responds to that, I think you're right. My mom is way stronger than me. I cave because I don't want to hurt feelings. But my mom cuts right through the BS. Thaddeus Crane says, wow, does her boyfriend even know that he's getting married? That's funny. And in this timeline, I would just tell her, no, you're busy that weekend, as is your mother, whose farm she's planning on using. And furthermore, it's not in your budget. Your reasons are incredibly reasonable, and your niece sounds like she couldn't handle her sister getting married and being in the spotlight more than her. OP responds to that, I think that's exactly what it is. 2 months before the wedding, Leia set off for boot camp, so for the months leading up to that, she was getting a lot of attention. Then something happened, no one knows the truth, and she got shipped back from boot camp 3 weeks leading up to the wedding. Dawn refused to make Leia a bridesmaid and told her that there was no time for her to get a dress and all that. So of course, she thought Dawn's wedding was the best time to tell everyone that she is getting married. And we do have an update, but oh boy.
She sure sounds like she's not difficult at all.
Not at all, no. Just have it the next year. Just give it a year. Have a whole nother year to put everything together. 2 months is too little time.
Feels super reflexive and impulsive. It's like she was like, oh, well, this person's having a really great wedding, and look, all these people are helping her with it, so now I'm going to demand that they do the exact same thing for me in less than 60 days.
It's like, that's just not how that works, my friend. But we do have an update.
And she got kicked out of boot camp, right?
I guess.
You got to be pretty obstinate to get kicked out of boot camp.
I want to know more of that story. But let's see how she deals with this difficult woman. So update. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who commented on my original post. In my everyday life, I'm the problem solver, the fixer, so I was looking at this entire situation as a problem that I needed to solve. I knew that if I asked you guys what to do, you would all just see it from a perspective that I was just too close to see. Thank you all for showing me that not only was any of this not my problem, but also that it was not my responsibility to do anything at all in this situation. Clearly, I have crap that I needed to work on and keep working on. My husband has helped me over the 11 years that we've been together. I used to be like a field mouse and absolutely terrified to say no to people, sometimes even crying over it. Thanks to the people on here who suggested it, I'm actually going to start practicing saying, standing up for myself, and letting no be a complete sentence. My husband said that I can practice on him whenever I needed to, and we will start working on that today. How sweet. Okay, so the update. Sunday night, I called my mom and told her everything. I pointed out that we will be gone on the weekend Leia was wanting to get married on, and said that for once, I will be putting my foot down. We will be going on that trip. My mom laughed and said not to worry, and that Leia has lost her dang mind if she thinks that any of us will pay for anything. I told her to call my dad before my sister had a chance to lie to him. My dad said the same thing as mom did and decided to call Leia's dad to find out what was going on. Leia's dad said that he told Leia that since he just bought her a car and his business is getting ready to shut down for the winter, he could not afford a wedding for her this year. He told her to put the wedding off till around May of next year, and that would be enough time. And Leia lost her crap. Are we surprised?
No, 0% surprised.
Not at all. Her dad said that after a lot of screaming, she finally yelled, "I'll pay for it myself." And apparently in Leia's mind, that meant getting all of us to pay for it.
Right. I'll pay for it myself means I'll find other people to pay for this.
Yeah, come on. My dad said that he needed to tell Leia that not a single one of us will ever pay for her to get married, ever. And if she just absolutely has to, she can do it at the courthouse. Later that night, Leia's dad called my dad back and said that he sat Leia down and demanded to know why she was pushing for a wedding so soon. That is true. That's a good problem to address as well. I didn't even think of that.
I think it's that jealousy or like seeing someone else have it.
Yeah, she just needs her moment. Turns out that her boyfriend is joining the Navy and they thought it would be a good idea to get married. Always the best idea. Oh, yeah. Her dad told her that none of us are paying anything for her wedding and she would have to go to the courthouse if she had to, but there will be no wedding this year. After an hour of yelling, Leia said fine, and she will just move the wedding to next year. But honestly, if her boyfriend is going away, I can totally see her finding a new guy while he is gone and the whole wedding thing going away anyway. Thank you all so much for helping me. Leia's finally got it through to her that no one will be paying for her wedding, and she agreed to put it off. I'm going to work on myself and have an awesome trip. Go you, OP.
Go you.
We do have some relevant comments coming right up, but do you have any comments of your own, Dakota?
Yeah, I mean, like, just go on the trip. Like, you know, if you've planned on doing something for a long time and someone comes around and says, hey, like, do this thing for me, but it's like a demand and I'm not nice about it and I'm annoying, like, don't feel at all obligated to cancel your trip.
It's such short notice. Because, I mean, I'm guessing that for the other wedding, she probably got so much time beforehand to figure everything out. So,
A lot longer than less than 2 months.
yeah. And she probably asked instead of just being like, hey, you're doing this and you're paying for it all. You crazy girl. We do have some relevant comments. Deleted says, thanks for the update. She sounds like the type to cheat on her boyfriend when he hasn't even been at boot camp for a week. OP says she has cheated on him a lot. Oh, man. Nixtaboss says, wow, effing tell him. Don't let him get married. She sounds crazy. And OP responds to that. The effed up thing is that she tells him herself. She cheats on him, tells him about it, and says that he can't get mad because she was honest with him.
Yeah, sure. In backwards, upside down nonsense land, that makes sense.
Oh my gosh. Why does the boyfriend want to marry Leia after all that? He has a very low self-esteem and self-worth. He thinks that Leia is the only person who will ever love him. Dawn has told him many times that he could find someone better. Wow. And we do actually have a second update. Would you look at that?
I hope it's him finding someone better.
I hope so too. That is so cruel of her to do to him. My goodness. So, update number 2. Well, a few people wanted an update to the update, so I thought I'd let everyone know that Dawn and I found out today that Leia got married on Tuesday. Exactly what we want to happen. Absolutely no one knew about it but Leia's mom and my sister. Dawn called her today to try to get her to talk Leia out of the whole marriage thing altogether. Dawn said to her mom that there's no way that she could think it's a good idea for Leia to get married, and my sister replied, well, it's kind of late for that. Dawn asked her mom what the heck that meant, and she said that they snuck off on Tuesday and got married at the courthouse.
I mean, it is what everyone told them to do.
I guess. She's like, okay, fine. I guess we're getting married one way or another. Gotta lock this down.
I feel so bad for that guy.
My sister tried to act like Leia had no choice since it's my fault that none of us would pay for her wedding. What?
Sure, whatever. Why do I have to pay my taxes? Oh, it's because of that one fish that crawled out of the ocean. That's whose fault it really is.
It's their fault. How dare they? But I dare you to go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. Because you know what you're going to find there?
Over 2,000 episodes with stories just like this.
So go on over there. But after we finish up this story, there's a little bit more, but do you have any final comments?
Some people can't be saved.
Yeah.
It's hard, but like you've done what you can for that guy, being like, you can find someone else. And he's like, no, I don't think I can.
Hopefully they can just be like a good family support system to him, maybe not so much to her. And then, you know, hopefully even though she's terrible to him, everyone else can be good.
Everyone else in your life is great except your wife.
But there is a tiny bit more to the story. So apparently I somehow have the power to tell my parents not to pay for a wedding. And since I thought that my trip was more important and refused to let mom cancel, what was Leia supposed to do? Dawn went off on her mom and stuck up for me, but I couldn't care less if she is blaming me. I cut my sister out of my life 6 years ago, so anything that she says means nothing in my life. Leia says that they will have a real wedding next year, and Dawn told her mom that when she does have it, not to ask her for a cake or me to decorate. And Dawn said that we will not help in any way, and she told me that she's gonna beat me if I help, but I told her not to worry about it. So yeah, that's that, I guess. Hope my sister can pay for the divorce. Dang, man. I think this is for some context, like previous context. So I make handmade gifts for people that I love, and I used to make my niece handmade things for her all the time. Until one day she let it slip that everything I've ever made for her, she has sold online.
What?
Wow. She told me that I should be flattered because everything sold for a good chunk of change. That was 6 years ago, and she doesn't understand why I no longer give her any gifts at all. She completely broke my heart. The one that really broke my heart was when I made her a custom coffee table out of a door from our grandma's house. That door was the last thing that we had from the house, and now it's in some stranger's house. Wow. Someone then asked not to be weird, but I saw that you had written about her a while back. Is she still married? Are there kids, LMAO? OP responded, that's a different. She's actually married to someone else and she can't have kids. Okay.
Well, at least that guy is not married to her anymore. Wow. Sounds like just about the most selfish piece of work I've ever heard.
That is so insane.
You should feel flattered that I sold all of the gifts you got me because they sold for good money. They weren't like Hot Wheels or something. They were like thoughtful, handmade gifts. What a garbage bag of a person.
Ask for all of that money back.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's actually my income now. I'm so flattered. Are you going to give me the money? Well, yeah, just don't bother with this person.
What a terrible, terrible person. But that is the end of that story.
And the end of this episode.
So
I thought we were passing it.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.